Absolutely.
They're called spicy. Okay, listen.
Spicy.
Nigga, it's
Spicy
called
books.
gross. These bitches just be reading porn out in public.
Like novels?
Yes.
Why?
Like whole chapter books.
Why?
Nigga, I don't know.
They're good.
About fantasy? Like,
About everything.
is it just like fictional or is this actual like
It depends. A lot of mirrors.
Definitely fantasy fiction.
fantasy fiction? Okay, so it's not like somebody's like journal of fantasy.
No, I don't
No,
want someone
no,
to write
no.
down what they do in their bedroom so I can read their little sex journal.
No, they're
Not
all
into
fiction.
that.
Yeah, okay, that's what I thought.
No.
People do that. Like a lot of females.
Yeah, that's
do
weird.
stuff like that.
I don't want that. I
That's
just
weird,
want,
but what y'all be reading ain't weird.
bro, I want something that does not happen in real life. Period.
Okay.
Like if
Okay.
it's mundane and I can do it in the bedroom, it's not for me.
Okay.
Everything that's in the books that can be done in the bedroom. What she means to say is, if it's something that she's not comfortable with doing in the bedroom, she wants it to happen to
No.
somebody else.
No, I'm telling you, if it's something that can be that can be done in real life, it's just not like it's no longer interesting for me. I
So
like
men
an
got
element
more
of like
problems.
it cannot happen in real life. It's so fucked up or just so weird and outlandish that it could not actually happen in real life.
Give
like
us
it's
an
out
example.
there. I don't want to give you an example. I don't think I'm
You
going
don't want
to do
them
that.
examples.
I know,
nigga.
but I'm kind of like.
Don't think I'm
I've
going to do
I've heard them, and
I
they
wanna
don't
know how
make
far
sense.
it is from
Bro,
where
I've
I'm at
heard,
right
I've
now.
heard the
Where
example.
are you at? And I'll tell
I don't
want to
say where I'm at because it might be like it might be less. I imagine it's like worse than where you're at.
Oh
because
no
of
no
how
no, nigga,
Bro.
nigga.
Alright.
Listen, when I say I want it to like something that doesn't happen in real life, like I want her
I'm a guy,
spine
though.
to break by how hard he's fucking her. Like
Oh,
I
that's
actually want
light.
it to be like fucked
Okay,
up,
yeah,
and
yeah,
that's like
that's light.
minor.
No.
Just
That's
so
why
you
I
know.
wanted to make sure
That's
I was.
minor
I was
in my books. That's
I'm
just one of the
over
only ones I think I
here
can
with
say out loud.
nigga, she's over there, but she doesn't want to admit it. It's bad.
She
There's-
was like,
there's a
oh,
lot.
spine breaking?
I'm not that far.
She's not
Yeah,
that far.
she's
This one
like
right here.
very.
Put it to you like
according
this,
to,
bro.
like,
Some of
if
the
you
shit that she
compare
be
yours to
reading,
my
I'll be
mind,
like, bro,
yours is
you
vanilla.
got that.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
that's
Vanilla.
straight. Like, I don't
Hers
want
is
to know.
vanilla compared to what I read, and that's good.
And
You
that's-
said spine breaking. That's vanilla to me. You said that's
All right,
like
yeah,
Friday
that's
night.
that's like the lowest of
I
the
was
low
like-
that I can put out there on stream and everything. Everything else, like
Oh.
I can't tell you.
I mean,
I don't want to
we
tell you
good.
really. It's
We
not
good.
even that I can't. I could. I just don't want to say it.
I would say it, but they should be mad at me.
Yeah,
for
I
it.
really would.
Yeah.
It's fucked up, nigga. It be
Oh, it's all good.
It's
You know what I'm
weird.
saying? We're all adults.
Nigga, this isn't for adults. This is
not
for
for
other niggas. This is for niggas that like niggas shouldn't read this. I'm gonna keep it a buck.
Who's writing it? That's what I want to know. Somebody, you know, like
Niggas who are worse than the niggas reading it.
ain't nobody as bad as ain't nobody down bad as them niggas in Japan on anime. Bro.
No, nigga. Some
them
of the shit.
niggas are down bad. Bro.
Some of them niggas is writing these books.
I'm just saying.
I
Yeah.
Some of
I
these
actually
women.
did just read a book about a tentacle monster. That one wasn't that bad.
Like that, and that's light
Yeah,
compared to
that's
how
very,
down
like, it was
bad
actually
them
not
Nigga,
as
nigga,
easy
nigga,
as some of the
nigga.
other
on
books I
some
read. It was
next
good.
level.
Nigga, it gets next level.
No, I'm just saying like those Japanese anime editors, bro. Them niggas be doing the most, bro. For real.
Bro, no.
Cause I be watching some shit. And I'm just like, wow.
You want to know what the sad part about it is, though?
Alright.
Bruh.
You know what the sad part about it is, though? Over there, bro, sex isn't as hyped up as it is in America.
Nah, it's actually really normalized. Like,
Yeah, bro, it's just like it is what it is. Like
perverted
they, like
stuff
in the,
is way perverted over there.
bro,
bro.
but
Like,
here's the
like-
opposite. Here's the opposite end of that. Like the girls over there, like consider like I'm not gonna say all of them, but
Yeah.
but most of them consider that to be like something that they're not like American women. They're not out here just fucking.
Yeah, they're
And it's
not.
and the sex is everywhere. And for some reason, the women over there are like, you know, like they consider it to be more of a like a
Japanese,
reserve- huh?
Japanese women.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they also are more still traditional custom. Like,
Well,
I mean,
they
additionally,
and most of them believe in one man, one woman. Like my virginity goes to my husband. or-
but their society though is breaking out. You know what I'm saying? As far as
Yeah.
like
Well, that's because
all
they.
the internet shit that they're doing, 'cause they be doing some wild shit over there. I ain't
But
gonna
they're not
lie.
the people
the
that
cam
are-
girls over there are just extra with that shit.
Nigga, yeah.
Like all the extra cosplay, like the
But
times 10
but
shit.
Japanese men aren't the ones that are buying it that much. You
Yes,
know
they
who's
the fuck they
you want
are.
to know who's really buying it?
They over
Americans.
there with them little bitty. Yeah.
American niggas. American niggas is buying that shit.
Bro, what? Americans are not into Japanese women anymore, bro.
Shit.
We looking at the thick ass
What?
Hispanic chicks that got
Whoa, no.
fucking fake ass
Bro,
asses
no,
and fake ass titties.
no,
That's
no,
what it is.
bro, listen.
We have
There's-
shifted. It used to be the thing. I'm not gonna lie, but it's kind of shifted.
Can
Bro,
I be
no.
honest?
I would say that that I think is just one of those things where it's broad everywhere. But what it comes down to is American men are willing to spend more bread for what it is that they're after. So American men are going to spend more bread on Spanish women than Spanish men are.
Yeah.
American men are going to spend more bread on UK women than UK men are. Because American men are just going to spend bread on what it is they want. Because they think that that's the way to get what they want. And like a lot of them women over there ain't after it.
Yeah.
Like they're really not, like they think the money's nice. Don't get them wrong. Like UK women probably don't give a fuck because their money's worth more. But like you go to Japan, American dollars.
They're not making much over there though.
Huh?
They're still not making much.
It doesn't matter. Well, I mean, it's not worth that much
You can
anymore.
say
It
like
used to
as
be.
far as like the
It used to be
euro
1 point.
to
It
the-
used to be 1.5. Now it's like 80. Now it's like $1 American is like 89. Is 98.98 American euros. So the euro is
I
actually
can tell you
dropping.
what it is right now if you want to know.
It's like point. It's like
I
0.98.
could pull that shit up.
It's like 0.98. We went actually. Our dollar value went
it
up.
changes every second. So like I'll euro to USD. So yep. So it's
I forgot
1.08.
water bottles.
So for every US dollar, it's 1.08 euros.
What?
Yes.
Are you,
The euro is
are you
more.
the pound?
Huh?
Is that the pound or the euro?
This is the euro. I can do the pound too. The British pound, yeah. And then the British pound is for every $1 US, it's $1.22. It's $1.22 for every pound to you to the US dollar, and yeah, for the euro is actually less than that.
Damn.
That's crazy though. But both of them are still more than the US dollar.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the British pound and the euro.
Yeah. So it is what it is.
But I mean, who cares?
But like American men are buying that anime Japanese porn shit. Like it's
That's very
never. What?
Nothing.
What'd you say?
I forgot where the conversation started, so I asked her and she's like, and then you said it.
All right. So the one topic I wanted to touch on today that we didn't get to touch on last week. A lot of people are light. We're light today. We're light. We had the return of our boy Tyler though.
What's up?
Return of the boy Tyler. We have Pumpkin Spice joining us again today. I know we were off topic when we started. I know. It's crazy.
Just talking about some stuff.
Yeah, talking about grown up shit. If you ain't over 18, get the hell out the chat.
No.
Facts.
We got Mac as always. Mac has been here faithfully every time. He may be late, but he here.
I think I only missed one day.
That was because I was sick though, and we didn't stream that day.
Yeah. Well, I just mean like on Christmas too. Like you did stream, right?
I did a little stream, but I didn't do a
streamed, but we didn't
podcast.
do the podcast. We just
Oh.
streamed.
Yeah.
So you didn't miss. I don't think you've missed any.
Perfect attendance.
Perfect attendance. So today I wanted to bring up the topic that we didn't get to last weekend because we got really heavy into the topic we
His
discussed
stream
last
knows me
weekend.
by now, sadly.
Yeah, everybody knows Bunny. She's loud. That's her stream title. It's Mira, but her stream title is just Lovely Bunny.
Because I'm cute like that. Not really. Not really.
But so what were we
Listen,
getting
you
at?
cute like that?
Shut the fuck up.
What did we talk about? Recap from last week. What did we talk about?
Body counts.
And,
Body counts mattering. Yes,
I
that's
almost
what
called
it
him
was.
Channing Tatum. What is Andrew
Andrew
Tate?
Tate.
That's
Andrew
his
Tate.
name.
That's what we went over last
Andrew-
Did
weekend.
you hear the update on that?
Yeah.
As far as like, did you see the Fresh and Fit coverage on that?
Yeah.
No.
Like how they broke it down, like on the lack of evidence that they had and the fucking
Yeah, bro.
fact that
Bro, yeah, but I was telling you
they're
that.
charging, bro. Oh my! If you want to talk about this shit, I'll talk about it right now.
No, we can talk. We can bring it back up after more shit comes out.
Because
We
I
need
watched
to-
that shit. You watched it with me last
Right,
night,
yeah,
bro.
I
just
but I
throwing
told you that they were
journalist niggas' name, bro.
I told you that they were just throwing charges at him last week, and
I
you
know,
were like,
but I
you
get
didn't know
that.
to the
But
extent.
I'm just not gonna jump to anything. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna stay where I'm at until like they have to. But he's innocent until proven guilty. That's how it's seen.
Yeah, but that's not how the media is gonna post you.
I get that, but they also went over like Myron and what's his name? Fresh went over like a lot of all those allegations. They even did an interview with the girls who allegedly accused him of rape.
Yeah.
They had videos like his Andrew Tate and his brother. They had secretaries like
Yeah,
people
exactly.
that worked for them. They were making recordings and everything of the girls that allegedly were raped by Andrew Tate and his brother. They were making videos of them recording them of the time after they allegedly had been raped. They were sitting there shaking ass, dancing, popping bottles and shit, drinking, eating pizza and like type shit. And like this is after they had allegedly raped him.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so I'm like, bro, and they went on a whole news network. I think it's like a South American news network, and they were like just talking about it and whatnot. And I'm just like, bro, this shit is crazy.
Bro, I told you.
But it's just really, a domino effect, you know that.
Niggas are really coming after you.
These
for what you're
sleep
saying.
with multiple women. They sleep with multiple women, right?
I mean, yeah.
It takes one female to start a domino effect for all the other
Me Too
little heads that
Bro,
I just had sex with in the last.
Look at what happened to Tiny and T.I.
But they brought a really but that is good. That is
one
good
comes after the money, the rest of them comes after.
Yeah, but that's what. But look at the Tiny and T.I. thing. Like they tried to take Tiny and T.I. up through there, and like, bro, Tiny and T.I. went to court and said, bro, yeah, we fucked a couple of these bitches, but they knew we was gonna fuck them. We ain't force them into it. These bitches just thought they was getting more out of me than what they was getting. Like, what the fuck do you expect?
Not to dive too much more into it, but like he was really talking about how women are what do you say? He's saying how women have regret after sex, and then they use that as I feel like I was raped because now they have some type of regret after doing that or. Yeah, so and then they might have some type of way. So if they have a situation like that, they're gonna get bread out of it. Like, this girl, she's coming along with it now. Oh, bet I want to get paid too. You know what I'm saying? All I gotta do is say I feel like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I think that comes from the society. It comes from the society now where like women are taught to not vet the men that they're sleeping with. I think this comes back down to it. Like I said, you're not vetting the man that you're sleeping with. You think you're about to get. The problem is these women thought they were sleeping with Andrew Tate and they were going to get everything that came with sleeping with Andrew Tate.
No, I will tell you what actually happened with that though.
No, I agree with you.
No, but let me finish.
I agree.
They thought that they think because they slept with Andrew Tate, they're going to get this fame, they're going to get this fortune. But Tate already says that he sleeps with women. So you coming out and saying it's not like the Tiger Woods situation. Put it to you like this: the Tiger Woods situation. All them hoes got paid because Tiger didn't go out and say, I'm fucking all these hoes. If he would have came out and said he was fucking all these hoes,
there would be no news.
There's no book. You can't write no books. You can't do none of that shit. The reason why, and now because men are so open about the fact that they'll sleep with all these women don't get to come out with their tell-all books. Like the first girl who came out with the Tiger Woods shit, she didn't have to say she was great. She just said, I'm fucking Tiger Woods. And his wife was like, I know you're fucking her. I've seen her before. And once his wife hit him, that solidified it. Then every other girl that came out, and a lot of these girls were like, oh yeah, we know each other. And they were like, well, how the fuck did you meet Tiger? Oh, well, she introduced me to Tiger. Or she told me Tiger was going to be in my country. He's staying at this hotel.
That shit wild.
Yeah, bro. Tiger had 18 bitches on payroll. 18? That nigga had one for every hole of golf he was playing. And they was all bad. All of them. Yeah. I seen all of them. I said, damn. I said, Tiger went fucking off.
He got 18 girls. That's more than 18 holes.
Damn.
Oh my fucking god, bro.
No, you saying. Yeah, that's real though. That's real.
Bro, but my thing was like he had 18 women and they were across multiple different countries. But I get that. Like you're playing golf all around the world. And your wife is told like when he first started, his wife went with him everywhere. But they got 2 kids now. The kids are in school. She don't want to go all the time.
Traveling.
I don't know why she was mad. My mom and them were saying that. They were like, he's worth $200 million.
And
$200 million?
And she got the house, she got the kids, she got all that.
Huh? Tiger. When Tiger and his wife got into it, he was worth over $200 million. And that was big for athletes at that point. Like this was like 10, 12 years ago where $200 million. He was the most paid athlete in the world.
And golfers don't get paid endorsement shit like that.
Because he was a black golfer, he was making fucking bread.
But Nike mode,
because niggas was going out golfing buying Tiger shoes just because it was Tiger fucking Woods.
I found out that they changed like the layout of golf fields because of Tiger Woods.
Yes.
Trying to make it easier for the other golfers, but then in turn it just made it harder for them.
Yeah.
Because
Tiger Woods was fucking a golf prodigy. Like he was just what it was, and like I said, bro, it just seems like if you get to that level of fame and you don't want to play by their rules, bro, you're not leaving the game. You're not leaving the game clean. Like even Bill Cosby couldn't even leave the game clean. I'm gonna keep it bad with y'all. I personally, I'd have been like, bro, y'all are bringing up fucked up shit. This happened how many years ago to you, woman? And you bringing it up now? This nigga's 86 years old.
That's crazy, bro.
Bro, he's 86.
Yeah.
80 fucking 6. And y'all talk about he raped y'all back in what, the 70s?
That shit's crazy.
And none of y'all, not one of y'all said something. Not one of y'all.
But my thing is, like, there was also no proof of that either. So it was just like, oh, well, we're just going to say this and everybody believed it. Like, there was no physical evidence or anything. And I don't
it was all their statements. And, like, Bill Cosby was just like, Bill Cosby was so fucking, he's stupid, but he's honest at the same time. They were like, well, did you ever have her in your trailer? And he was like, yeah, I had her in my trailer. So could this have happened? He was like, what the fuck is going on here? I'd have been like, no. I'd have been like, y'all gotta prove that. Bro, but that's a nigga that he really didn't think he was doing anything wrong. They were like, well, did you have drugs in your trailer? He said, everybody was doing drugs. Nigga, it's the 70s. Everybody was doing drugs.
Dude, to me, it's just like...
LSD and all types of...
That shit's crazy.
I don't think that should be allowed.
What?
Like,
I don't think that you should be able to say 30 years after shit is gone south for you and you ain't got no fucking money no more that you think that a nigga should have to pay you. I think that's...
Where did this even come from?
Bro, one of these
an intelligent psychological warfare thing that the women just pulled out of their ass.
No, they didn't.
So now we can hit them with some bullshit.
This is not new. They've been doing
it. No, what
happened?
What started all of this?
Society has made it to where women can do this, and it's just like a benefit that they have.
Well, women has always been believed most of the time without evidence in a court of law when it comes to stuff like this.
No, that's misspeaking.
No, it's not.
But
yes, it is because literally.
I would argue that there hasn't been a society that would that would make women think that like they could do something like this until now. Women haven't had a history of doing this before until
you misspoke
recently.
Because that's not true. Because literally in the 70s it was a law that if you were married to a woman you could not rape her. No matter
I'm
what.
I'm not talking about marriage.
But you're saying that these women. But that stipulation alone would make a lot of women not want to come forward. Do you see what I'm saying? Because you're automatically not going to be believed. And 9 times out of 10, a lot of these women would get turned down if they said something happened because a lot of the cops would be like, "Well, were you intoxicated?" Well, he was intoxicated too, which is by all means,
especially before too.
Yeah. Which by all means, I think should be a greatly.
If alcohol was involved, bro.
I think that goes both ways. I think if you're drunk, I'm probably drunk too. So if we're both drunk and we decide to have sex together, like nigga, that's out the window.
But that's a huge gray area though.
That's not.
You know what I'm saying? It used to be, and now they've made it to where.
For me, that's not a huge gray area.
But think about being in the military. What do they preach to you? You know what I'm saying? When you're doing the sharp training, like they're like, okay, look, if alcohol's involved, it behoove you not to go ahead and stick your thing in there because she can say anything, and it happens to it happens to brothers.
You know what else they tell you? You know what else they tell you in the middle
all the time, bro.
Yeah, I'm not saying it don't, but what I'm saying is I think that is the most flawed legal aspect that we have. If two people are here because here's why, and here's like the level playing field. Before you get drunk, you are a fully conscious, capable of making your own decisions and stand trial adult. If you decide then to get drunk, and then you decide to have sex, whether it was with the person that you wanted to have sex with or not, you still chose to get drunk. There's a consequence to every fucking action. Now, I'm not saying if somebody just jumps on you, that's whatever. But if you and him are both getting drunk together and you started off the night not liking him, and then you started liking him halfway through the night, and then you wake up and you regret what you did, nigga, that's stupid. Like, that's just stupid because you chose to get drunk. You know what you should learn from that? You're a sloppy drunk. Stop fucking drinking.
What is the biggest takeaway from that, though? The lack of accountability that women are willing to take.
But that's also men, too, because men won't go... Men won't go to court and just say... Men don't have the luxury of... Men don't have as much of a luxury as the lack of accountability as women do.
I know. Women can hold that lack of accountability and it not affect their, situations day to day. A man has that lack of accountability in that same regard. He can be put in jail. That next day. This nigga did this.
If a man holds himself to that accountability standard, you're assigning what you hold yourself accountable to all men. There's a lot of men out here who don't want to hold accountability for nothing. I know a couple niggas that are dead.
But that's not the argument though, Marcus. I'm saying women have a higher.
I would say a
higher regard for that lack of accountability.
I would
as far as men. Men's lack of accountability hits them directly in the face.
I would say if you're talking,
it's real.
you have to assign that on a generation basis. I would say the generation coming up now, these men have just as much of a lack of accountability as women, and it's because they're told they don't. No, bro, a lot of these men are out here acting like women, and getting mad because they can't do what women are doing. Okay. And but that's what I'm saying. So, but these are still young.
With lack of accountability.
Wait, check me out, because what they'll say is well, she gets to do it. Why can't I?
This is what I see.
And then this is no, but check me out.
This is not even
no. Check me out. No. What I'm saying is before men used to be held to this standard, and if you were a man, and if you were told you need to have a family, you need to get a wife, and you need to do whatever. Now men are just happy being at home, no job, taking care of kids is what they say they're doing. But your kids go to daycare 8 hours out of the day. You're sitting at the house. You might sell a little weed here and there to help your girlfriend pay bills, but she doing CNA, nurse. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, where's your accountability there? As a man, you're watching your wife go to work, struggle, or work her ass off.
That's not the average man. The average man.
I would say that, bro. It's a lot more men.
The average man is not at a stay-at-home dad, bro.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that it's the. I'm saying.
So what are you basing your argument?
Average women aren't the women that are out here that aren't holding themselves accountable. I would say, on average, most women do want to hold themselves accountable to certain things.
You said they want to, but the fact is that most women don't have accountability
of the women that we know
of themselves, their own actions, and things that
I wouldn't say that's most. Yes,
because if a man has, for the most part, if a man has that lack of accountability, it is reassured in his day-to-day life that he's inadequate. He's going to feel that in his.
I would say those
women for the most part have that cushion of that delusion. They have that.
I think okay. Let me say this, and I want to see if you agree with this. I would say that the numbers on the amount, the percentage-wise, is going to be close for both men and women of this generation coming up. But I would say the delusional aspect, as far as women go, is way higher. I think that we're arguing two different points. I'm saying they're just as lacking in accountability. The only difference is where men lack accountability, they're not delusional with their lack of accountability. Women are going to be delusional.
They can't be that because the way I just explained it. Like men can't afford to be delusional because life checks a man.
Yeah,
life checks a man when he's inadequate, and not the way it does a woman. A woman can just walk around with that delusion and not have it directly affect her day to day.
And a lot of men are skating past that, is what I was trying to get at, because all they got to do now is say that they're a woman. And so they're not getting checked. But they're not getting.
If we're talking about the average,
that's what I'm saying.
The average guy does not think.
A lot of men are just.
A lot of men
are just gonna write out here, and they've come out and said it before. There's no such thing as gender roles. Traditional gender roles, like you say all the time, people are getting away from traditional gender roles. And the big part about that is, with that happening, a lot of these men are just saying, "Oh, well, I don't have to take up the responsibility. I don't have to take up the accountability. I can just push it all off on my significant other. I can just not take accountability." A lot of men are
staying. But there's a group, but you got a very precise speech though. Like there is a group or a portion of men doing that, but you keep saying majority and like general. No, they're not. I would not say most men are like that or think that way.
All right, I do agree with you saying that men, especially now, are held less accountable than they were.
They were.
100% they are. However, I agree with Mac that in this situation...
Okay, well, that's not what he said, but I agree with that. Like, yes, men have less accountability than maybe, like, the last generation or the...
Right, as the generations go...
I'm saying...
Hold on, can I finish?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, as the generations go on, they are held accountable for less. As we have. Anyway, in this situation where we're talking about rape and stuff like that, women are not held accountable for their own actions. You can see that when you tell a girl, well, what were you wearing when you went out to the bar that this happened to you at? It's like, oh, well, now you're victim blaming. How dare you blame the victim? But you have to blame yourself in a certain situation. As somebody who this has happened to... I
wouldn't say blame. Hold yourself accountable.
Bro, it is blaming, though. But
not blame.
But hold on, let me explain.
But what he's saying is right. If you say blame means that... Blaming means that it doesn't mean that it has any truth to it.
Yeah.
So when I say I'm blaming you for something, I don't have to be telling the truth. I'm just putting it on you.
All right. So, but what I'm saying is, you have to be able to stop and be like, I did fuck up.
But that's accountability.
I did.
That's why you say that word.
Like I did go out in something without making sure I had like somebody there who
Like
would
that
buffer
fight I showed you.
me and make sure I was going home safe. You know, like, you have to be able to look back at yourself, see where you also fucked up, or you will never grow. In your mind, you're going to be like, oh, well, it's not going to happen again because somebody else has to take accountability for what happened to me.
Because like Myron explained, like, if you're sitting in here and you got all these fucking chains on, you know what I'm saying, and you going down, think of the worst part of the neighborhood you could be in at that nighttime of night. You know, niggas, them jack boys is out there, niggas is robbing out there, and you just walking around, you got jewelry and shit on you. You a sweet lick, nigga, and you just walking out there, and you like flagging and all that shit, niggas will rob you. You go to the police station, nigga be like, well, why were you out here so-and-so at this time, knowing, like, with all this jewelry, with no protection, like, what? Where's your level? You know what I'm saying? Like, what were you thinking? What were you thinking doing that? You know what I'm saying? That's what was gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? And when a female comes up, oh, this guy, this and that, and then she starts explaining her story, they're gonna find holes. They're like, okay, well, you know, why were you doing this? Why was this? You know, there's gonna be holes in there. And then that, when you say stuff like that, then, like you said, that's victim blaming.
Yeah,
no, the fuck it's not. It's accountability.
So what I'm saying, but what I was getting at is like, so I like to talk in reference to, like, okay, so our generation has already grown up, and I would say that we hold ourselves less accountable. On average, the average man from the generation before us held himself way more accountable than our generation. And I'm saying that this next generation that's coming into this, like coming out of high school and shit, there's a lot of young men coming out of high school that ain't holding themselves accountable. And we talked about this the other night. You might not hang around these young men, but I know a lot of young men that are not holding themselves accountable like they should be.
I think it's like the school shooter situation. Like, there's a lot more school shooters now, and instead of being like, you know, I took the gun and I did this, it's like, oh, well, these people forced me to do it because they made fun of me and they made me feel bad and I was really sad and my parents left the gun there and this, like, men nowadays, like, back in...
That's a real... But no school shooter has ever just been like, you know, I did this because I was pissed off.
Yes, they have.
No, yes, the Columbine shooter even said that he did it because all of society was fucked up, and he was an actual psychopath. But a lot of these kids saying that, but that's just that
is a rare case in
but
itself.
That's what I'm saying. That's a bad comparison. What I would say is it's more like young men coming out and saying, you know, oh, like, okay, I would say there's a lot of men that are out there going, you know, I can't find a good woman, and you said it before on the podcast where you said, well, nigga, what are you doing to work on yourself? Like you have to have that accountability. And whereas I would say that Myron, Andrew Tate, and them are trying to get young men to take more accountability. Even Jordan Peterson said it.
No, they're trying to raise the standard on men because, like,
exactly, because they're not they're not holding themselves accountable to the same standard. You see what I'm saying? You're losing accountability, and it's going in such big gaps that they're having to put this content out there because men don't understand what it is to take accountability for. Fresh and Fit say it all the time. Why are you not holding yourself accountable? Why, if you're not going to the gym, nigga, then you're the reason why you're not getting no play. If you're not making money, then you're the reason not getting no play. You can't. But instead of that, women, like you said, you know, niggas that be like, oh, well, if the bitch ain't coming to me, then I'm not chasing her. Like, nigga, you gonna have to put in some work. You gotta hold yourself accountable. The reason why you ain't getting no play is because you ain't even say hi to the bitch. Am I cap? You ain't say... Nigga, you gotta hold your... Instead, they're just gonna say, oh, these women only want niggas with money and stuff like that. How you know? You ain't even talk to the bitch. Right. Like, I'm not saying that a lot of these bitches ain't out here chasing money, but if you ain't talk to the bitch, bro, you can't say that. Don't come to me talk about, oh, ain't none of these bitches in this club fucking. Nigga, what you mean?
Well, can I just...
What you mean ain't nobody in this club fucking? I just seen a bitch outside giving head next to the dumpster. No. What you mean they ain't fucking? Did you go say hi? Oh, nigga, she looked stuck up. Yeah, bro. Oh, she stuck. She looked stuck up. Well, she looked that way because she wants to make sure that a nigga that's trying to get this pussy ain't just some random nigga.
Yeah, some lame ass.
Yeah, bro. You better get past that. Go over there and make her smile. Ask her dumb. Ask her dumb question.
Knock that bridge down. You better knock that.
But they'll just sit back and be. But do you see where I'm coming now? Like niggas ain't like. It's not the same level and it's not in the same aspects that they're not holding themselves accountable. But I think young men, I think that's why they're paying so much for the industry that me and you are in. Construction workers used to not get paid as much as they're getting paid now because young men don't want to be accountable for having to go out and actually break their backs to get shit. Niggas is paying HVAC niggas $20, $35 an hour because niggas is just like, I don't want to do it because you're held accountable for making sure somebody's shit work right. And the job's going to hold your ass accountable. And you're held accountable by the government because you fuck around and release that Freon into the atmosphere, your ass is fine. Yeah. And niggas don't want that. Niggas don't want that accountability. They don't want that pressure.
At the same time, we live in a world where like this feminist movement is super huge. and I think it breeds a ground for
everybody
men
to be
not hold accountability for themselves and stuff like that.
It gives you, it's an easy out.
It is, because women are like, oh well, we don't want men who are men. We don't want men who are gonna take care of us. We don't need you to do this. We don't need you to do that. So men are like, bet, if y'all don't need me to do it, I'm not gonna do it. Why the fuck would I? You know, and it allows that men to have this like escape, like, oh well, I thought you didn't want this from me.
Is it?
So why would I do it?
Issa said hello.
Hi.
See, I agree with what she just said, but I think that just comes a little bit into like how you were saying the delusional side of the, you know what I'm saying?
The women's side, I would say,
the women's side is more delusional because they say they don't need a man for all these things, but in all reality, the laws of physics and the way the world works, a man is meant for a woman, so a woman knows how to like it's a divine energy.
I want to hear from the young.
This is a true energy.
No, the old people are in here arguing. Let's hear from the youngin.
I mean, I feel like I have different opinions from other people my age, but like, if it were up to me, I still want a man to take care of me, go off. Like,
how many men have you dated that can do more stuff outside than you can? I just want to know from like her generation, because she's the one that's in her generation.
Right.
And they were 9 years older
How many
than me?
men like does she know that can she like? How many men do you know can change a tire? Like actually change a tire? Them bitches hit.
Know how to change the oil in their car and shit like that by themselves.
Like, cause even my roommate Chino don't know how to change the oil in his car.
Right.
He don't know how to do none of that, bro.
Right.
And Chino will tell you straight up, he's not doing none of that. And he's a trucker.
Yeah.
Like, he's a real trucker. This nigga drives 18-wheelers everywhere.
But he doesn't even do the maintenance.
He's not doing the maintenance on his own car. You got Chino so fucked up. I told Chino one time, I said, bro, let's get out here. I'll show you how to do it. That nigga said, why? They charging $20 down at fucking
Jiffy Lube.
Yeah, oh God.
That's the same shit we were just talking about. The emasculation and
bro. They make it so easy. They make it so easy for you not to be a man, for a man to just sidestep it. And I know what you're getting. I know where you're coming from. You're like, niggas like us ain't gonna do that.
Modernization has made it comfortable like that, and it's what's making everybody comfortable with, you know, doing less and less.
Yeah, it's what's making people. That's what I'm saying. Even men are coming to a point where they're like, oh, I don't have to be accountable because somebody else is going to do this. And it's passing the buck. And what's going to happen is eventually it's going to get to the point where electricians, fucking niggas in real construction doing that back-breaking labor, them niggas from down in South America that are coming here illegally, that are doing the roofing and shit, they gonna be making all the fucking money, and you ain't gonna be able to do shit about it because them niggas do not give a fuck. They hold themselves accountable to a standard that American men cannot understand. When you're an 18-year-old man who just crossed that border illegally, and you're working over here every day just to make sure that your family back home gets money, you're holding yourself accountability to an accountability standard that most people just will not realize. Because you're not working just to survive. There's a couple of them that live in this apartment complex. Not going to say where I live, but I know that they illegal. Mm-hmm. Them niggas live 15 deep in an apartment and send almost everything they make back to their crib back home. And they make it fucking bank. And them niggas put up a roof in 15 minutes. 15 minutes. I'm talking about. Bah,
2 days.
Gone.
They'll tear that bitch off in one day, put that bitch on the next day.
Oh God.
And to be honest, like,
and they think they getting paid by the roof. They getting paid by the hour.
They get
paid by the square when they tear it off.
No, when you get,
the company gets paid that way. They paying them niggas by the hour.
Yeah.
The company's gonna get paid by the square, but these niggas illegal. They ain't got real paperwork. I'm paying these niggas $8 an hour to get up there and do that, and I'm charging these niggas $7,000-$8,000 a square.
Yeah.
That's slavery, bro.
Not that much.
That's slavery.
But you know what I'm getting at, nigga. Like,
that's modern day slavery.
I mean, yeah, but them niggas don't see it that way. You know what they see it as? They seeing it as I gotta
get paid, nigga. The fuck.
Them niggas is actually really making money. Because they're all living together. Because they're used to living together. They all got over here together.
They don't pay shit really for rent on all that shit. Because they all, you know, shit.
You got. Honestly, we got 7 of them in one apartment, 8 of them in the other.
You gotta think.
Our rent here is in the 1600s. You got 8 of them. That's $200 a person.
Motherfuckers will have houses set up like that. You know what I'm saying? Where they pay the rent and everything. They just have them niggas live there and they work for them.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I worked at multiple companies where people do that. They house them niggas.
But I cut her off, so let her, and then it's right back to you. So, like, I'm just asking, like, how many of the men inside, like your age, have you ran into who are like, would you say are more men?
Younger though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's
what I'm talking. That's the generation that's becoming young men now, nigga. Like, we're old. We're about to be in our 30s.
But we weren't doing that shit, you know, at that age.
But
we're a different breed.
No, nigga. I was changing my own oil, weren't you?
I mean, I knew how to, but
that's what I'm
changing
asking.
My own oil. You know what I'm saying?
I was changing mine.
I knew how to. I didn't do it every time.
I did mine every time.
What does that have to do?
It's the ability to do it.
Because like,
what does that have to do with being?
Because
man,
like
being
as a man, if you need your oil changed, and it's something that you can do, and it's cheaper for you to do yourself, right? And it's something that you can do.
I'd argue then that there's a lot of things that men can do.
Okay, so then like
they can physically do that'd be cheaper if they do it themselves. Most things that you do.
I'm not, but that's what I'm getting at is like the level of accountability to say, you know, I got spare time. I can knock this out in one day versus, like I said, Chino can have all the time. He can be home for a week. His oil can need to be changed, and Chino's gonna say, I'm not doing it. He's like, it's not my job. I'm like, nigga, what do you mean it's not your job?
So what in turn, what effect does that have on the quality of man and the
because men who
because they're softer nowadays.
Because they're not changing their oil.
Because they're not taking on the responsibility. It's not even just their oil. It's like what comes along with that. If you're not man enough to say, you know what, my oil needs change. I can do that this weekend. Let me go ahead and knock out the grass too. Let me go. Like, that's just something that men...
Do it in the changing the tire aspect. Can I put something... Instead.
Okay, so I'll do the changing it to the side of the road.
Yeah, you're on the side of the road.
And that's an emergency situation.
You got your girl with you, right? And
if you don't know how to change your oil, you don't know how to take it.
Separate, though. That is a whole different
Okay, but even with the changing your oil,
don't conflate that to changing your oil.
Okay, but changing your oil...
That I understand, though.
Changing your oil is maintenance on your car. If you're not taking care of your car's not going to take care of you.
But
and if you're
you can maintenance your car by bringing it to the shop and having somebody do that for you.
Yeah, but that's passing the buck.
About accountability,
but that's just passing the buck. And most niggas ain't even checking their oil like that. How many niggas you know really are going out and checking their oil like they're supposed to? Most niggas just look at that.
How to read an oil stick?
That's what I'm
saying. Yo, bro, that's what I'm saying.
Like, the organization has made it easier for men to not have to do little shit like that. But if you're arguing like the emergency situation where I gotta be a man right here for my girl, I gotta change the tire.
Well then
that's one thing. But like,
just because it's modernized doesn't mean.
No, I'm just saying like we're getting really drastic with like the lack of a nigga being able to change his oil. Like that's. I understand what you're saying. But
I'm working at the lowest point. I'm working at the lowest point. If you can't change your oil, compared to me, you're not holding yourself as accountable. But are you saying that you're less of a man? Because I'm not saying that makes you less of a man. What I'm saying is on a day-to-day basis, that's something that I hold myself accountable for. That I don't have to, because like you said, there's
a standard.
But that's a modernization that I can literally be like, you know what? I don't have to do this. But instead, because I'm a man, I want to take up more responsibility. I'm craving the responsibility. I'm like, I'm going to take care of my car.
But that's a standard. I think that's a preference that you have that men should live up to.
I think the ability.
I would argue that that's not a necessary standard. A man should know how to do that. Yes.
But if you want to be,
you shouldn't say if he doesn't do that, he's less of a man. You feel what I'm saying?
I promise you, you're going right after this. If you want to hold yourself accountable, right? Like you're talking about men holding themselves accountable. Mm-hmm. You're saying it's a standard. Okay, so then let's say that, you know, women doing what they need to do as far as doing the traditional role is also a standard, but them not dressing more conservative, going out or whatever, that's all comes from standards. What I'm saying is, because if you're a man and you really want to be able to hold yourself accountable, you want to be able to hold yourself accountable for the safety of your family and everything, knowing how to work on a car, your family spends time in the car. If you know how to work on a car, then you can make sure it's running optimally to keep your family safe.
Okay, but I understand that and I agree with that, but let's not conflate the standard and the accountability. That's two different things, right? So what you could say is like it's the man's accountability to make sure, because his family's using that car, that to keep them safe, that car should be up to standard. He doesn't necessarily have to be the one to do all the maintenance. As long as he's getting it done, he's accountable in that regard. Yes, I could say that, but it'd be his. No, it's not. His standard to do that himself when it is cheaper and it may be quicker if it is for him. Maybe he's a guy who doesn't have time for that shit. It's easier to go dump it off to the niggas in a shop. Boom boom, do what they gotta do. And
but if you don't know what's
that's the regard. Like you can't.
I'm gonna let her go, and then I'm gonna reply straight to that. And I got my answer for that.
Well, my thing is like, in a sense, Mac is right. We have come like into a position where men do not have to keep up on their cars by themselves because there are professionals who do that stuff.
Okay.
So I understand that not being really, you can't really be considered held accountable for something that, like he said, you're held accountable for getting it done, not doing it yourself.
Okay.
However, because you no longer have to do that yourself, you should be held accountable for everything that you should be getting done yourself, and instead of putting that shit on the back burner, because you have less to do. Okay. You have less to be held accountable for now.
I don't.
So what you are held accountable for, you should be doing to the best, like, to the highest standard.
Okay, so my critique to both of y'all is, if you're passing the buck on to somebody else, put it to you like this. If you don't know how to take care of your car yourself, before you pass, I don't care if you do pass it on. Like, even sometimes I'll pass my car on to somebody else. But if you don't know how to do it yourself, you don't know if it's done correctly. And if you don't know how something's done correctly, and you don't understand how to do it, like you've never done it yourself, Chino pulled up to our house one time, his engine was knocking in that Mustang. And it's because he dropped it off at the shop, they put on a new oil filter, never put a drop of oil in the car.
Right.
And since you don't know, since you're in the man, since I told him, I was like, bro, you didn't hear this? And I'm talking about the car sound like, going off, and he let his girl drive that all the way down Satellite Beach Coast. They were driving back to back in each other, and his girl pulled up here, and she's like, something's wrong with the car. I'm like, what you mean something's wrong with the car? Chino says, bro, something's wrong with my car. Come out here. I get outside. I said, nigga, the fuck is wrong? I said, why your engine not? I said, did you try to change your own oil? I was proud of him. He said, no, I dropped it off at Meineke. Right. I said, nigga, pop your fucking hood. Get in there, pull out the stick. When I pulled the stick out, Mac, I promise you. No, bro. When I pulled the stick out, it's worse than that, Mac. They let it drain for an hour. There was nothing. There was smoke coming out of it. It had so little oil. There was smoke coming out the engine, Mac. Now, and like I told him that day, I said, bro, this is on you. He said, why is this on me? I said, nigga, you have to hold yourself accountable for this, because if you knew what they listened for and you knew what it was like to drive a car with oil, you would have never got to this point. That's what I mean by hold yourself accountable. Doing little shit like that, getting that knowledge is beneficial. You have to hold yourself accountable in a state like that. You could drop your car off anywhere and the nigga can run off to your wife, talk about, oh, well, your car needs this, this, this. And now you sitting at home with your wife talking about, damn, the car needs all this. You gotta hold yourself accountable to be knowledgeable about things that you need to get around, because this is a need. In today's society, a car is not a want; it is a need. Unless you take a public transportation, but now you gotta hold yourself accountable for the safety of everybody in your house.
But if your whole argument is based off like the people like men back then,
my argument is just
the men back then versus the men now were more accountable. Yes, because the times have changed. Modernization has created to where men do not have to have that sense of information about a car.
I'm not disagreeing. I'm not disagreeing with that.
Time has made it so. But that's what you were saying.
I'm not saying that they have. I'm not saying that you have to hold yourself accountable.
No, you're arguing that men back then were more accountable than men today are.
Back then they had mechanics.
And I just gave you the reason why, though.
But in that regard, I'm not saying. But whether or not there's a reason behind it isn't the problem. The problem is holding yourself accountable. If you wanted to be that much of a man, like the more stuff you hold yourself accountable to, the more standards you hold yourself to, the better of a person you're gonna be at the end of the day. Because if you have no standards, you're not holding yourself to anything. You just gonna sit on the couch and become a slob. The niggas on 600-pound life, ain't ne'er one of them niggas got standards. Because if you have one standard,
been held accountable for their own weight, let alone anything else.
You're not gonna. What I'm saying is, I think for me. So I'll preface it with this. For me, being a man, I'm holding myself accountable for anything, and that means anything in my life that could go wrong, I'm gonna try to learn as much about it as possibly can, because I want to make sure that it's operating, if not at its peak efficiency, that I can keep it running long enough to get it to somebody who knows what the fuck they're doing, and I'm not gonna get fucked over. Because if you get fucked over by a mechanic, nigga, you're accountable for that.
But
you're accountable because you let this nigga take advantage of you when you have all the means in the world. Because, like you said, it's easier. You don't have to know how to do it hands-on. The least you should do is have the knowledge. If you walk into a mechanic shop and the mechanic's listing off a bunch of things, like Chino almost got fucked over by a mechanic. I had to go with him to the mechanic shop. They was like, oh, it's going to be, $2,500 for what he needed to get done. I said, for what? Brake pads? I said, brake pads and what else? They were like, oh, we're going to do a transmission flush. I said, there's nothing wrong with this transmission fluid. You're dead.
Transmission flush? For $2,500?
On top of brake pads, oil change. They were they was talking all types.
That's not even $1,000.
Right.
but he was gonna pay that shit.
Nah,
Yeah, but do you see? But Chino's younger than us, and that's this. Like, do you see what I'm saying? Niggas ain't holding themselves accountable to have this knowledge.
Niggas don't have.
And like you said, knowledge is power. You've said it multiple times.
I mean, yeah, but think about like
having the
think about
ability.
in 20 years when you have a
having...
car that you know nothing about. You know what I'm saying?
There's never gonna be a time. There's never gonna be a time where I have a car.
when these cars get more modernized, they're gonna get more modernized past the ability that you can make. But I'm saying to the degree that they're going to be more modernized than you're capable of right now.
You're absolutely right.
You will, and then I'm not saying that you won't have some knowledge on, as the times go by. But you're going to get to a point to where you don't.
I can't keep up. You're absolutely because I'm getting older.
So
you know what I'm gonna?
Are you going to argue the fact that?
I'm gonna pass it on to my son. I'm gonna be like.
But I'm saying, are you going to argue the fact that you're less of a man because you now can't, meet the needs of this task that you were arguing that. Those could back then, as opposed to now. So
I'm not gonna say that I don't think that's the way I'm gonna look about it. I'm gonna look at like once I get so old that being so old that you can't do it versus not knowing how to do it.
The argument is that the times have changed, the technology has changed. So if you're not up on that to the degree that you're speaking on now, you can't argue that makes you less of a man or. Less accountable as a man.
I got what you're saying. What I'm gonna say is this: I think it's gonna make me less of a man than I hope my son is, because I'm gonna be an old person. I'm gonna be old. I'm not able to do it anymore. It's not that I'm not gonna want to. It's just like would you say your dad after he gets to the point where he's not able to work no more because he busts his back, he does shit. Are you gonna say that he's less of a man than you? You gonna be like, nah, because if my dad was my age, my dad would be out here grinding.
My dad does more shit. I see. My dad is a grown ass man. A grown ass man. He does manly shit on a day.
Okay.
Even when he doesn't have shit to do, he's out there doing grown.
Okay. So but he eventually is gonna get to.
But he doesn't know how to fucking.
Yeah, but eventually he's gonna get to the point where he has to sit down. It's not gonna be that he wants to. He has to sit down.
Well, like I said. As the generations go, accountability changes.
Yeah, are you gonna look at your dad and be like, oh, he's less of a man than me? You're gonna be like, no.
That's not my argument. That's
no. But what I'm saying,
what
I'm saying is, I don't think that it's passable on to an older generation. I don't think you can look at an older generation man.
But your whole argument was that he did it during his time. Were more accountable than men today. That's what you're saying.
What I'm saying is he's doing it during his time period. If you're doing all the shit that he was doing in comparison to his time period. So, like, if my son's doing everything that I was able to do during my time period, if he's able to check the car then's oil or whatever it's burning on, a fusion reactor, whatever, if he's able to do everything that I was doing to a car, me and him are the same amount of man.
I'm not talking about that relationship. I'm talking about you, that one person in particular. You see what I'm saying? As time goes by, you're not going to
was I able to do it? So, was I able to do everything that he's basically doing then? When I was younger. So was I able to change a car, my oil when I was younger? Was I able to take care of my car when I was younger? Because if I was able to do all that, then I'm just much of a man as him. The times have just changed. My ability to do things hasn't.
No, I'm not talking about that. Wasn't even my argument. It was as in perspective of yourself. Not you brought in your son. Like I didn't say that. Like you thinking of yourself as less of a man because you can't do. Whatever it is.
Oh, I get that same. Yeah, I'm gonna think of myself as
change your oil, whatever.
Yeah, I'm gonna think of myself as less of a man because I can't get out there and do what I did when I was younger. Absolutely, but I think every old man does that. I think every man.
My pops definitely.
Yeah, every older guy looks at himself and goes, "Fuck, I can't get out there and do what I used to do. Fuck, I can't do this, that, and the third."
But you're gonna think of yourself as less of a man when but why when you could just leverage other people because you realize like you don't have that capability anymore.
Because that doesn't
make you less of a man. But you're leveraging other people to get that done. Like I said, the accountability is you're still getting it done. Maybe though you don't have the physical capability to do it yourself.
Because the way,
but you can leverage other people. You're still getting it done.
Because you're having that. Because
so you saying you not being able to do it, I would say does not make you less of a man.
Would you? I mean that's your opinion. But I know how I'm gonna look at myself. I'm gonna be like, man, I can't do this myself. I'm depending on other people. Like you said, you're your own rock. That's gonna put you in a position where you, as Mac,
I still leverage other people to do other things that I can't do.
Yeah, but you're gonna. Yeah, but check me out. When you get to the point where all the things you can do now as young Mac, when you get to the point where
that's a physical limitation, not a something that I have learned, something that I'm capable of doing. You see what I'm saying? There's a physical limitation there as opposed to a capable limitation. You see what I'm saying? There's a difference.
It's Arizona tea from the thing.
what I'm gonna say is you asked, was I gonna think of myself as less of a man? I'm definitely gonna think of myself as less of a man because I'm not able to get out there and do it myself. And part of being able to hold myself accountable for something is me being able to get out there and do it myself.
But you still get it done though.
I'm not gonna be able to get it done as effectively.
Says who?
It says me.
You gotta have an expert doing it, as opposed to you, who's not an expert. You see what I'm saying?
But how do I know that an expert's doing it if I don't know what the fuck he's doing? I can't judge.
Just because you don't know what the expert's doing doesn't mean he's not doing.
I can't judge.
He's not doing it right.
Doesn't mean
That's just because you don't know what he's doing because he's doing what he's an expert at.
Okay.
And you don't know, so that's why
you can't judge somebody else's expertise if you don't know where the base point is. You can't judge somebody else's ability to hunt if you don't know what hunting is. You can't judge somebody's ability to do other things if you don't know what it is.
I agree with that.
So then, how do I know that he's an expert? He could just tell me that he's an expert
because he's getting. Come on, bro. What do you mean? He's getting paid.
I know a lot of guys that work at mechanic shops.
He's getting paid in the expert market. Like
I know a lot of guys that work at mechanic shops that have never worked on cars before. He holds
the position. That's where you should be accountable for. That's where you.
But you're getting off. But we're getting off the thing here because there are so few of those men. The thing comes down to this: accountability. Because there are so few men that are holding themselves accountability to that aspect, that it's just people don't give a fuck about that anymore. How many people do you really hear about on a day-to-day basis that really give a fuck about people? Like I said, bro, you're one of the few people who actually you're one of the few people who actually give a fuck about other people. Like there's not a large majority of people who give a fuck about other people. It's very, I wouldn't even say it's very, very rare. I would say the people who care about other people aren't in positions to where they can take care of other people. Because the people who are greedy get to those positions first.
I mean, I would say, okay, I mean, you kind of really changed the argument.
But what I'm saying is, you're saying, how do I know this guy's an expert? I don't. And because I don't, I'm going to have to take it off faith that he's doing the right thing. Because, like I said,
if he does it, and
these niggas at the mechanic shops are working with other professionals, and they're charging nigga $2,500 for a transmission flush. Okay. And you just said it yourself, nigga. That's fucking ridiculous. But he's getting paid an expert price to do a job as an expert and fucking people over.
Okay.
So, nigga, are you really an expert, or are you just making up shit?
You could argue that he's still an expert, but he's a fucked up expert.
How do you know that he's even doing this job?
He's ratsing people out their bread for.
But how do you know he's even doing his job correctly if you don't know what the fuck he's doing?
Well, when I get my vehicle back and
But you just said I don't know anything.
And there's something wrong with my vehicle, I'm gonna be like, okay, this guy obviously.
There could have been nothing wrong with it in the first place.
Then he's an expert. He got the job done. I just got waxed out.
What I'm saying is, you take your car in there. There's nothing wrong with it, but he tells you there's stuff wrong with it. And when he fires it up, he's done made it to where there's something wrong with it. There was nothing wrong with it in the beginning, but he told you that this shit's wrong with it. And so you pay him the money.
But then we're changing the argument, though. Because I would argue that's where your level of accountability comes in. You picked that guy. You came to that guy.
But you just said he's getting paid an expert price. Like, I'm supposed to trust him. He's getting paid an expert price. He's an expert in his field. I'm trusting this company to pick a good person. And that's where I was coming. That's why my argument wasn't so far out the park. You have to understand that these corporations don't give a fuck as long as they get their bread at the end.
I think at that point, it's no longer holding yourself accountable. You have to learn how to hold somebody else accountable for their own things. This man is supposed to be a professional. He works for a company. You hold that company and that man responsible. You have to hold them accountable for their own.
So you sue them if they did some shit like that.
They can't. You can't sue them for that.
Why not?
Huh? You can't. You can't. You legally can. There's no legal grounds for you to say I'm gonna sue you because.
Of course there is.
No, there's not.
I brought my vehicle to you and
you brought my vehicle. First off, I have to prove that you ran my vehicle fucked up, which means I'm gonna need proof of that. Which means I need somebody in this mechanic shop to say that you did this.
Right. Well, my vehicle's fucked up. It's kind of obvious.
Okay, but he's gonna give it back to you fixed. But that's what I'm saying. He's gonna say that it's fucked up because he just rigged it to sound fucked up. Because it's not hard to make a car sound fucked up. You disconnect the airflow mechanism. You just take one spark plug out, it's going to make the engine sound fucked up, correct?
Okay, but what are we arguing here?
What I'm saying is, just because you're going to an expert doesn't mean that the expert's going to do an expert job. And if you don't know what they're doing and you don't know how it's done, then you can't judge whether or not this person's an expert.
But that's not, I mean, okay, I agree with that, but that's not what I was arguing. I wouldn't say not all experts maybe, you could say maybe not all experts are actual experts, yes, but if you bring it to somebody who's supposed to be the subject matter expert in that regard, then I would argue that that's a level of accountability on yourself if you get fucked over in that.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. So, like I said, you're supposed to have accountability. Like, I get where you were trying to go with this question, but I don't.
But you still can't look at it from a point of view of like, okay, I have to know what this guy is capable of doing to deem whether or not he's an expert.
I don't.
Like, that's why you bring it to expert in the first place.
Your original question.
Because they know how to solve the problem that you don't know how to solve.
Okay. The original question was, would I count myself as less of a man if I got to a point where I couldn't keep up on shit that I hold myself to the standard of keeping up with now? I would. But I don't ever see myself getting to the point where I don't. Because even when I'm old and I can't do it physically, like I said, I'll read a book. I will look up how to do anything. Like with my Jeep now, if I don't know how to do something, ask Mira. I'll sit out here for 6-8 hours at a time, watch 12 videos on how to do it, watch instructional, then I'll look up the diagram of how my engine was built, and I'll figure out how to do it myself because I don't want to take it to somebody and be fucked out of something. And once I do it the first time, I'll take it to anybody. I don't give a fuck now because I know what it's going to cost and I know how easy it is. Once I show up at your shop, if I ask you to put in a new crankshaft position sensor, you tell me, oh, it's going to be $800 for labor. We're going to drop your transmission. No, you don't. Because I just did it. No, you don't. What you're going to do, I said, you know what, bro? Tell you what, you pay me $800 if I can do it without dropping the transmission. And you know what he's going to do? He's going to look at me and be like, fuck, I can't. He's like, well, we're going to at least have to charge you $300. $300 is a fair price. Because I know you do have to get back there. That's going to be a little bit of a work. You feel me? But I know you don't have to drop this fucking transmission. I know you're not about to have to drop this engine. Because all you need is an extension and to get back there and pull that bitch up.
But the argument is, though, like, once you become old enough to where you physically aren't capable of doing it, yeah, you have the know-how, but you're still going to, what did you say? You're going to leverage other people that know how to do it. You'll have some knowledge about if it's being done right or wrong in regards to what you're saying.
Yeah, but
you're still going to leverage other people.
So I'm still holding myself
still less of a man.
So I'm still holding myself to an accountability standard because of the knowledge. Like my whole oil changing thing is most of these men don't even know how to go about doing it. That's where this all stemmed from. I'm like, if you don't know how to do it, like you don't know anything about it, then when somebody does it wrong, you don't know what the fuck's going on. Some guy doesn't put your fucking drain plug back all the way tight.
Right, but you're saying that
that makes you less of a man. If you don't know how to do it, that makes you less of a man.
The initial stem is like they're less of a man because they don't know how to do that.
Yes, because you have all the opportunity in your phone and everything with the amount of knowledge that's out here to at least watch a video. You should take it upon yourself to be accountable to watch a video to know how to do it. If you don't want to do it yourself, that's perfectly fine. If you say, I know how to do this now, but I don't want to have to do it because somebody else gets paid to do this all day, that's fine. Because you held yourself to an accountability standard to say, I at least know how to do it. So you're not going to get fucked over in the process. And you can check that it's done right. Because when it gets back home, it's going to take you 2 seconds to go, hey, yo, that's right. My oil level's right. I got the right synthetic in here. And this shit ain't burnt, so they're not fucking me over.
I can't even argue with that point. Because I'm not going to lie, when I hear girls say that they don't know how to cook, oh my God, I see them as such, I see you as less of a woman. If you don't at least know how to cook like 3 meals, bro, you are you even a woman? Are you even worth getting married to? Because I feel like all women should know how to cook.
That goes kind of goes.
All women should know how to cook, especially if you're planning on being if you want a man to take care of you, you should know how to cook.
I'm gonna keep that shit.
A man should never come home from work and you be like, sorry, babe, I don't know how to cook anything. It's on you today. Or we gotta go eat out.
You come home
You're less of a woman because of it, period. I'm sorry, not sorry.
You ask a bitch,
I say it.
You come home from a hard day at work, you're like, I'm hungry. She like, where you want to go to eat? Bitch, the kitchen. I don't go in that other room. She like, I can order some. Ask for Stevie. He'll hook your shit up.
I mean, okay.
What I'm saying is, it's personal accountability. Let's not call it a crime. If you don't hold yourself personal accountability,
I still think we're trying to conflate the accountability with like a standard, someone's standard. And I just want to make sure.
Would you say that a man?
Those are two different things.
Would you say a man is less of a man if you're talking to another dude, and he doesn't know how to do what you consider, like, let's just say basic shit, like basic dude shit.
Okay, so if you wanna, for an example, like I do construction, so and I'll just take it here because
okay, so if a man doesn't know how to drive a nail.
A lot of niggas don't know how to do the shit that I know how to do.
Okay, but if a man
I would argue that I know how to do a lot of more complicated and complex shit.
Okay, so let's take it to the base level of that. If a man doesn't know how to take a hammer and hammer a nail.
Let's find a stud. If they don't know how to find a stud,
okay.
I'm sorry.
No, because finding a stud is actually
they have stud finders.
Yeah, but if you don't have a stud,
if you don't have
but
a stud,
what I'm saying is, if you don't have a stud,
helping men.
But that's what I'm talking. That's what I said. Because we have a
I'm
modern.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Because it's modern, we have to change the accountability standards.
Okay.
So now that we have.
But that's what he's arguing.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, that's why I told him I was like,
that's why I
you
said
can't argue the same accountability as men who didn't have anything. We're in a modern day society. They have to be held to a different level of accountability and standards.
No.
Yes.
Because so if you're
modernization has changed that.
That's why I said the stud finder thing.
I think it makes it easier to be
a fucking man. This stud, no, it doesn't. Because the stud finder example is fucking stupid, and here's why: if the battery goes out on the stud finder and I still got to get this fucking job done, I'm held accountable for this job getting done.
So replace the battery and get it done.
I gotta leave the site to go replace a battery, or do I just accountability? I should know how to do it.
Accountability. You should have another battery.
Exactly. But
charge it.
Yeah, I see his point.
Okay, the stud finder goes bad, or the stud finder goes bad.
I do see his point, and I would say like
if they give you a job when you're at your construction job, and you said I know how to do this, this, and this, and then all of a sudden your power drill goes out or something like that,
you're less of a man because you.
I'm not saying that you're less of a man, but if the power drill goes out, if me and you were working on the same construction site. And they were like, hey, yo, y'all got to get all these holes drilled before lunch. And then, or like, you got to drive all these nails in before lunch. Like, I need the frames built. I need shit constructed before lunch. And your power tool goes out and you look at me and say, hey, now what I'm supposed to do? I'm going to look at you like you're less of, I'm going to be like, nigga, what the fuck is wrong? What do you mean what the fuck you have to do? Nigga, you're working on the same job site I am. Bro, listen. That's what I'm going to get fucking frustrated. Because as a man, nigga, you're not supposed to look at me and say, what the fuck, nigga, either figure this shit the fuck out or get the fuck out of my face. And you would do the same thing. If a nigga was painting with you and he's like, hey, yo, my paintbrush got hard because I left it out during lunch.
What do I do?
I would just tell him what to do. Nigga. To fix that problem.
But you wouldn't, bro.
I'm not gonna be like, okay, you a bitch now because you.
No, we didn't say that.
I didn't say that.
That's what you're saying.
But in your mind. Okay, wait. Let's not say he's less. You're in construction, so you're not counting. So you're not leveling.
You have a standard for that. You know what I'm saying? You have that standard.
Okay, so is he less of a construction worker than you? Because in construction, now you're measuring how much of a construction worker he is.
Then you're changing the goalpost.
Okay, so but what I'm saying is man standards is having a car.
If you want to bring it back to the being able to fucking drive a nail, if you can't fucking drive a nail, I'm be like, all right, bro, look, like you a little bitch right now.
Okay, exactly. Like that's really what it comes down to. It's like, bro,
like if you're sitting here and you're
fucking,
a little hitting yourself on your hand.
Because it's common sense to me.
No, that's not common sense.
Because like.
There are some women who don't know how to use a fucking hammer.
I would say to a degree, there's like.
Am I wrong though?
No.
There are some women that don't know how to use a
hammer. I grew up with a dad who did like hand stuff and car stuff.
Yeah,
so,
but there are some women.
Things that I know.
Yeah,
that other girls don't.
But your dad also didn't have a son. So he was like, I gotta show somebody.
I was literally the son.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So what y'all are saying is common sense. Y'all are outliers in the fucking situation.
That's why I was literally gonna say I have to take that back.
You're an outlier.
Because we're holding ourselves now to standards that men would be held to.
Yeah. Exactly. There are some women who are like, I'm not touching a fucking hammer. I'm not doing that shit. Like you got them all the way. I gotta do what?
But if a man has that same attitude, I'm gonna be like, yeah, bro, like for real, like you a bitch. Like,
oh God, bro, that's all I was getting at.
But you're getting, I don't know.
Changing
the examples you were giving were just
okay, so maybe my examples were bad, but we can agree on the same thing, bro. There's just certain things that are called basic man accountability. Like you have to know how to do this basic shit in order to get through life as a man.
I could agree that there's a minimal level of like capability that a man should have,
and you should hold yourself accountability to have that capability. You should hold yourself accountable to at least make this standard of capability to survive.
Okay.
Sound fair?
I agree with that.
Yeah.
As a man.
Yes.
To call yourself a man, like I said, if we're on a construction site, you showed up and told me you didn't know how to drive a nail, I'm gonna be like, nigga.
So with that being said, though, this is where we were arguing earlier. This is why I do think that majority of men, or your argument earlier was like, men and women today are about equally as unaccountable.
Yeah.
So with all that being said, that's why I would argue, which is what I was saying earlier, that most women are way less accountable than most men.
I would say that
with what you do, what we were just talking about.
Yeah, but on the same token, there are a lot of men out there who don't know how to drive a nail. There's a lot of men out there who don't know how to change oil. Wait, check me out. And I'm not. This is not me bullshit.
No, this
we
is
had a
real
guy.
shit.
We had a guy that showed up that wanted to be a part of the maintenance crew at the other apartment complex, right? And cuz didn't even know how to use a wrench really.
Okay, he can learn. Like
but what I'm saying is that that's a basic, like, to me. Knowing how to operate the swirly in the middle of a wrench, that's basic shit, bro. Like, that's basic shit.
You could say that for someone who knows, who's in that field.
Okay.
Who's doing that.
Okay,
yes.
so fair
if you're trying to say for the average man, like I said, modernization has made it to where that like
so would you say
about that, it's no longer necessary.
Okay,
exactly.
so what about fighting? If a man doesn't know how to fight?
If a man doesn't know how to fight, like I said,
that's a big issue.
Niggas aren't just going around fighting each other like, oh, I want your shit. I'm gonna fight you for it. Like, and if you can't fight,
you just said earlier that they were. You just said like if you were in the hood and you out there fucking around, niggas use a sweet lick. Niggas
that was an example. That was an example.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is niggas is really out here doing that. Like, it's a danger.
Can I just say I don't think
wait.
It's not as common.
Go ahead.
So on your part, right? You're talking about fighting, and it's not necessary to know how to fight.
No, I said
is that what you're saying?
I never said that.
No. What he's saying is it's people aren't fighting as much. I think he was going to go into the fact that niggas is pulling pistols. But to me,
I was gonna go there too.
But my thing is, if you don't know how to fight, I'm looking at you as less of a man. Like, if you can't hold your ground, stand your ground, 1v1 versus, even if you get beat, I don't even care if you get beat. But if you don't know how to at least,
but that's all perception.
But am I wrong? Like, if you can't stand there and stand on your principles, like if somebody's really trying your principles on a core level, if you cannot stand there on your 10 and you gonna look at a nigga like he a bitch. Yeah, like, this nigga's really trying you right now. Yes, Mac, you gonna be in this. You gonna be like, nigga, if you don't fight him, I have to fight him.
I mean,
bro, that's just basic.
You can say that. Yes, I do agree with that too.
But there's a lot of men out here that'll say, "Oh, I don't have to fight. Or I can just walk away from the situation." Nigga, that's
pussy shit.
So like,
that's less of a man.
If I got bodyguards, you know what I'm saying, they handling it. You feel me?
Yeah, but if you got bodyguards,
why do I need to get my hands dirty when I got a nigga right here?
Because if somebody's walking up on your woman while your bodyguards are dispersed or something like that,
my big heavy nigga finna handle that. You see what I'm saying?
You better
hope. What if it's just you? What if it's just you? Can I just say,
I'm not talking.
B&B Rock didn't have his bodyguards.
Hold on.
That's
accountability.
accountability.
Well,
that's what I'm saying. So it's accountability.
Life is
that was accountable. He had to take accountable for his own death. I mean,
all right.
No, you're absolutely right, nigga. You should have gave up them chains.
I wouldn't even go.
You ain't had your heat on you. You should have gave them shits up. That nigga ran up.
Small percentage of people.
But he's saying all all men. You know what I'm
I'm saying
saying?
a lot of men.
Hold on. Let's bring it back to the households, right?
Bro, we didn't even get to the topics we were supposed to be talking about.
Hold on. If you're in a relationship, you're a normal couple.
This is how it goes sometimes. AJ's loving this.
Right. In a household, if someone's breaking in and your wife and you are the only ones home, or your wife and your kids, you as a man, it's your job to protect your wife and kids. Right? So if you don't even have the basic knowledge
of how to
do
fight,
that,
that's okay. But if you know how to blow that bitch, you're protecting your family,
what I'm saying is you have to be able to have that knowledge and accountability to be like, I'm a father, I'm a husband, I have to be able to protect my family in some way, shape, or form.
So I guess
that's accountability.
What if you can't make it to a gun?
Like,
you have to be able, like.
What do you mean if you can't make it to a gun?
Like, if you can't.
Okay. So like, let's not just say fight. Let's just not say fight.
Guns, whatever. You should be able to
change
know
your
how to
word.
use
Precise speech. Let's not say fight. Let's say if you don't know how to protect
yourself. That's what I said.
Yeah.
Like,
if you just don't know how to protect yourself, period.
Which is a lot of guys these days.
Right.
She dates a lot of these niggas.
Right.
Like, I'm telling you.
What kind of type of niggas are you dating? Wait, hold on.
No, but that's just her generation. You have to think she's like 4 years younger than us. Like 5 years younger.
This is a generation.
That are what?
20.
That are
21.
What? But like, what are those guys doing? Like,
well, it depends. Normally, I go after the guys that could know how to protect me. But like, I see a lot of them out there that like they wouldn't be able to, like, if someone came up to them and started touching on their girl, like they wouldn't be able to be like, dude, back off. Like, they just don't do conflict like that.
Nigga,
he's right, bro. Society's out here.
I feel like y'all are looking at a small minority of like these little ass boys out here.
Our generation is a minority. Her generation, it's the majority.
Bro, you're comparing shit to like you just said. These kids out here ain't even doing the coke can right.
Bro, the thing is,
they're
like,
not even. But do you see what I'm saying?
Like, conversation. We literally said as generations
they're not even doing the
they're held less
right.
accountable in general, and that's her generation.
On
her
the bikes,
generation is held less accountable.
They're using plastic bottles.
And you just said that earlier with me. We agreed on that.
They're not even.
What it is.
They're not even doing
a metal can, nigga.
But I do agree. Like I said, I do agree in a lot of situations.
Get ate up down there. It ain't gonna last long.
I agree in a lot of situations, women are held less accountable than men. However, that does not negate the fact that men now, like men in these new coming generations, are not held accountable as men.
I would say our generation, and I think that's where he's speaking.
But you know it's changing though. But like we were talking about, the standard of men is changing due to modernization and all that, right? So
a lot of it, I think, comes from.
Hey, thank you so much for the follow, Galaxy Go.
Hey, the fact that they are making men us man.
Time. Thank you so much for the follow, Galaxy Ghost. We really appreciate it.
What's up, Galaxy?
Hey, I hope you're having a wonderful night. I hope you're enjoying the conversation. We didn't get to the topics that we wanted to, but...
We still got an hour.
Yeah, we still have an hour to hit those.
Okay, yeah, we do.
And I think this was actually a really good conversation.
Okay, so...
And actually, speaking of accountability, that would go perfect to go into the plane bitch.
Okay, we can get to that in just a second. What I'm gonna say is...
The Andrew Tate thing?
No.
The
big bitch on the plane.
The big bitch on the plane.
She's not being accountable for her weight.
Right.
I was just gonna say, I didn't finish talking about that. I feel like that shit was...
Okay, but anyway, what I was gonna get to was like, I think our generation suffered from a lack of accountability on women's part. But I think what has happened is that it has bled into all of society, and now all of society thinks that it's agreeable to be less accountable. Because not even my nephews hold themselves as accountable as it's like I used to hold myself as a jit. If I told you I was gonna do something as a jit, I was doing it.
Right.
You feel
that's also, I would argue, where like
but because
morals and values are declining, you know, and
but with all that,
holding everybody accountable anymore.
But no, I agree with what he's saying. Yeah. But I think that all that affects the rate at which you hold yourself accountable.
Of course,
because when women and stuff like that had higher morals, they held themselves to a higher accountability standard. But because men are saying that these women are getting away with it, a lot of these men are saying, well, fuck it. If they can get away with it, I can get away with it too. Like, how many men do you see? Well, you probably don't see it a lot, but because I do my shorts and everything, I have to do a lot of research. There's just as many men on these social media apps talking about, oh, the only reason why I hurt women emotionally is because a woman hurt me. It's like, nigga, if you don't shut the fuck up and suck it the fuck up and move the fuck up.
Often I hate it.
Bro, and I'm just like, nigga, like, why are you acting so soft?
The only reason why I hurt women.
Oh, you want to know why I'm such a fuck boy? Like,
I dog women out because a woman dogged me out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, nigga.
Like a guy's in a relationship for 2 years. Bro, he gets cheated on, right? He's hurt.
So now he's gonna go out and cheat on everybody.
He's saying that because of that, he's gonna go out and be a fuckboy
and cheat on every girl that he gets.
All right, one second. Let him go. Let him go.
You hear this? You hear all this right here?
So
this comes in the lines of people don't know how to be transparent with themselves because like it's hard to be like real with yourself, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because sometimes it might hurt. So you just being real with yourself at that one point in time, that one thing that really hurts you, and you being real with yourself, and it even hurts you more, because it's like, damn, you feel me? It hurts you more to actually be transparent with yourself than lie to yourself. When you know the truth in the back of your head, but you're lying to yourself the whole time.
Dudes ain't coming out and just saying straight up. Dudes ain't coming out and being like, damn, she really dogged me out. Let me just go ahead and move on from that. And
dogged me out?
Like nigga, like
I was
nigga.
a female dogging a nigga.
Okay.
Because I'll give you one example. On a TikTok that I was watching earlier, I made a clip about the nigga because I called him a bitch and everything. He's out there, he's like, when you just fucked on this girl, her sister, and her mom, because your last girlfriend was her best friend, and she fucked your brother and your cousin.
Okay, get back game.
No,
I mean, that's toxic as fuck.
Yeah, but nigga, yeah, but that's what women do. That's what women do. Niggas ain't on that shit, nigga. Okay, so you fucked my best friend and my cousin. Hey, yo, good for them. I'm glad they got that pussy. I'm about to go smash somebody.
I don't think anybody should be doing that.
And look, and here's how real her best friend thought you was. Her best friend was like, you know what, bro? She treated him wrong. Let me give him some pussy. And then you gonna dog her best friend out? That nigga, that don't make no fucking sense. Get back game means you sleep with her best friend, you get in a healthy relationship with her, and you show her what she could have had. Nigga, I'm taking your best friend out. Your best friend got bad shoes. Your best friend pulling up. Your best friend hanging up on you when I call her.
I'm not even doing all that. I'm just fucking new bitches now. Like, That's
yeah, but niggas is going so in depth with it, like, and he thought that he was the real shit. He's like, I just dogged.
What the fuck was that, bitch?
What?
I don't know. I didn't see it. I just saw you jump.
What happened?
Something fell.
It might have been the dog move and it sounded, but I could have sworn I felt something move across my elbow.
She's just fucking
Bro,
tripping.
first of all, listen, I don't like anything that feels like a creepy crawly.
All I'm saying is that men ain't even chalking shit up to the game no more. Niggas can't just take an L. It's like, nigga, man up and just take your L and move on, bro.
Women definitely can't take an L.
Oh no, I'm not saying they can't. Women have never been able to take L's though throughout all of history.
That's what I'm saying.
But men are now instead of men holding themselves to the higher standard, instead of
I think
they're just
the accountability test that they do on Fresh and Fit, like when they bring women on there, it's crazy, bro. Just
but also Fresh and Fit ain't
bring
bringing a lot of niggas that don't hold themselves. Like when they brought Destiny on there, Destiny is very low accountability for what the fuck goes on in his life. You know who Destiny is? The white boy that lets his wife fuck all types of other niggas.
And he fucks other niggas too. Like,
he's
bisexual.
Yeah,
I know who that nigga is.
Yeah,
Not that there's anything wrong with that. I'm just saying. But
nigga, that's not my cup. I'm gonna keep it
not,
a gang.
yeah,
I'm gonna keep it a band. I'm not fucking with it. As long as you ain't trying to fuck me, I'm straight.
Like that. But yeah, I mean, I don't
just want to put that out there.
Yeah, I don't agree with that either. But he's
very
the
low
blue pill guy. You know, he brings a lot of good facts.
Yeah, but there's a lot of guys who agree.
But he also
with
goes OD with some shit.
Yeah, but there's a lot of guys who agree with him and will say like
beta males.
It doesn't matter. Whether they're beta or not, nigga. These are niggas that ain't holding themselves accountable. Like you have to hold yourself accountable.
Yeah.
You have to hold yourself accountable.
Of course. Saying that holding yourself accountable, it's being transparent with your emotions.
There it
is. Niggas are putting their emotions to the side because they're always trying to play the tough guy role, bro. Like, what the fuck? Niggas got emotions. Niggas got emotions.
We talked about.
I see what you're saying.
What the fuck y'all keep, like, you're lying to yourself because this bitch really hurt you, but you're around your homeboys that are all dickheads. But just because, you know what I'm saying, they're playing this false imitation because they've been hurt by some bitch, so they had, oh, fuck that bitch, you know what I'm saying?
So that's not a weak-minded ass nigga?
No, that's not weak-minded.
To be cheated on by a female and
then
be hurt?
Niggas be getting hurt from being cheated on by a female. Niggas be trying to play so tough.
So that's a weak-minded nigga.
In our reality, bro, you're not being transparent with yourself, bro.
I'm thinking he said.
Yeah, and honestly, in our reality, bro, you're a weak ass nigga, bro. If you can't be transparent with yourself and you can't be real with yourself about your emotions, you're a weak ass nigga.
But I think there's a line in the sand. I think there's a line in the sand with that. And here's the thing: you could be transparent with your own. I think what he's saying, if you can't acknowledge the fact that you have emotions and deal with that the appropriate way, that's what he's trying to say. But there's a way that you can do that.
You can't live your everyday life.
But there's a way you got to go about it being a man, because here's the real world. Here's the real world reality. No, you could be an emotional man.
Emotional ass men is the problem.
You could be emotional as a man. Here's the thing: you have to be
emotional. No,
will you let me
have
control
of your emotions? You gotta learn. But being an
emotional,
being
in control.
Yeah, he's not saying just because you have emotions.
That's very
okay, but that's what I was getting at. You didn't let me finish.
You said being an emotional man.
I didn't say being an emotional driven man. Being an emotional driven man is a man who's driven by his emotions. That's a man who's letting his
being an emotional man is the same thing, bro. Being in control of your emotions. That's how we should.
Being an emotional man is just a man who feels emotions. Now you can control those, or you can let them go out of control. If you are a man who's driven by his emotions, you're out of control emotionally. Most women are driven by their emotions. They're not driven by logic. Okay. It's just a fact. So, but having emotions as a man isn't a bad thing. What I'm gonna say is
being an emotional man
isn't a bad thing as long as you know how to be an emotional man to yourself and be able to realize, like, if you're alone.
Like I said,
that's what. But you didn't let me get it out.
If you are a male and you are in control of your emotions, that's one thing. Yeah,
but you're not letting me.
That's a good thing. Being an emotional man is not a good thing.
But saying being an emotional man is not a good thing.
Just being emotional as a man is bad. Period, bro. Come on.
I feel like being emotional.
So you don't have any emotions at all.
I'm not saying that.
Okay, but when you say, but you just said precise.
I know my.
You're emotions. In tune with your emotions.
Like you were saying, like I know how to deal with my emotions. I'm in control.
That's what I was trying to get at, because when you say being an emotional,
precise speech.
That's what I'm trying to get at, but you're not letting me finish. What I'm saying.
You're not saying it right.
Well, you're the one who's not being so precise, because the way you're saying it makes it sound like
having emotions
any emotion at all is bad. That's what it sounds like.
That's what literally everybody is hearing when you're saying being an emotional man is bad.
Yeah. Yes.
It's everybody's literally hearing. Okay, so if I have emotions as a man, that's bad. What you're not saying is being an emotional man and being in control of those emotions. That's what I'm trying to get out. But every time I say being an emotional man, you go, that's bad. I'm trying to say being an emotional man who's in control of those emotions and doesn't let them dictate what he does in life is the right path. because you're allowed to be an emotional man. You just can't just be out here in public letting everybody know every emotion you're feeling. You need to be able to be like, okay,
that's an emotional man.
No, that's not. That's just a man who's driven by emotion. That's a totally different sentence. It's the way you structure the sentence. Yes,
that's why I said being in control of your emotions versus being emotional.
Yeah, but you're emotional.
If you're emotional,
so you're emotional.
If you're emotional, your emotions are all over.
But you're emotional.
I understand what he's saying though, because when someone says that a woman is being emotional, it's an instant insult. Let's be honest.
She's not in control of her emotions.
But that's not it. But
her emotions are all over the place.
But those are two different people,
bro. It doesn't matter.
That's two different. Okay, so when you say a woman's being emotional, when you're saying a woman's being emotional, when you're saying you're being emotional, you say you're being overly emotional. You're letting your emotions override your logic. That's the original sentence structure.
Right, but you're being an emotional man. Same thing. You're being overly emotional.
If you say you're being an overly emotional man, that's different than saying you're being an emotional man.
What you're doing?
That is different from saying you're being an emotional man.
Like if you're being an emotional, you're being an emotional. You're being an emotional man means that you're feeling that you have emotions.
I have emotions.
You don't say a woman's being emotional. You say, bro, she's being overly emotional.
Am I pronoun or whatever?
Am I wrong? Like y'all are not.
I mean, I get it on both sides. Like either way, like if.
I think if you're being overly emotional as a man, terrible thing. If you have emotions as a man, I mean, I'm not really rocking with it because I don't really operate that way. I try to keep all my shit to myself.
Men have emotions. That's not the same thing, though. Being an emotional man is bad. Having control of your emotions as a man, yes.
Can you be...
I'm going to look up the definition.
Oh my gosh. This is
very
crazy.
simple.
Listen,
it's very simple.
Not every man in this world has emotions. They feel like in their lives as a man...
Every man has emotions. Whether or not
some men walk around here and think that a true man is an emotionalist man. Like, they're not supposed to show nobody their emotions. I'm not supposed to show nobody when I cry.
All right, so emotional...
You feel me? You're supposed to hold yourself to some accountability. Like, nigga, you know you really be hurt on the inside.
The definition is arousing or characterized by intense feeling or having feelings that are easily excited and openly displayed. That's what emotional is. So when you say emotional man, you are literally saying you are driven by your emotions. So he's right. The definition tells you that you're wrong right now. That's it.
I recant my statement then. I'll concede the point.
Yeah.
Like if I'm wrong, definitely. So saying that somebody's emotional means that they are being overly emotional by word of diction.
Yeah.
The way words work.
But saying an emotional man.
That's what I just conceded. I just conceded your argument. I just said you were right.
Do you understand that?
That's what I think he just understood. He shook his head.
Yeah, but I understand, but a man with a
man
has to understand at the end of the day that they have emotions.
Yeah, he said so. But I'm saying all I did was say that the wording. The wording we were using the wrong diction. We were just
out here with no emotions.
No, there are some people. There are some people that are born without emotions.
No.
Ted Bundy.
No. But those are outliers, and those aren't the people. Those are.
And I'm agreeing. I'm giving an example. There are people that are born with no emotions.
But those are outliers, and that's not majority of society.
I never said it was. He literally made the statement. There are people who are born without emotion, and he said where, and I gave an example.
Not even just born off emotion. Some men are just.
There are chemical imbalances that cause you
to
not to feel
emotions. There's a group of people.
But those are chemical imbalances, but I think they're trying to say precise speech.
They're called sociopaths. People who are born without emotion are called sociopaths. And not
they don't stimulate. So
they're mentally unstable.
No, there are people
that
sociopaths
are just people who don't feel emotion.
There are people who are born in this world who that part of their brain.
I would not.
She's literally in
I'm
classes
a psychology major.
But what I'm saying is there are people who are born and that part of the brain just doesn't fire. Like emotional response part of the brain just does not get.
It doesn't mean they don't have emotions.
No, that's literally because their brain, that part of their brain is dead.
That's just them not being consciously aware of their emotions.
If you don't have if you're not conscious of the emotions, then you don't have emotions because you don't understand what they are. So if you don't understand what they are,
just because you don't understand what emotions are doesn't mean you don't have emotions.
That's literally what that means.
No, that does not.
That's literally
just because you aren't capable of understanding something doesn't mean you don't have it or you're not that. That makes no sense.
If it doesn't fire in that part of the brain that controls
just
emotions.
Because you are not conscious of your emotions.
Sociopaths don't have feelings or emotions, nor do sociopaths cry genuinely.
That's literally.
However,
literally a thing that they've done.
Most of the time,
they've done CAT scans on these people.
They can pretend and mimic emotions.
Yeah, but they
do not feel them. They
like,
don't feel remorse.
So when you feel
or
emotions,
like that.
it's your brain having chemical responses.
They have emotions.
No, they don't.
Matt, so when they get mad, and
they don't get mad.
They don't get angry.
So when they lash out and they kill someone,
they don't lash out.
They don't. They're killing people
they're not because
they're psychopaths and then they're sociopaths.
How can you say that they're not? Because they get when they get out of control and have a episode or a moment and they hurt someone, they harm someone, they're doing that out of rage.
They're not.
Like,
Matt,
you can't say that they're not.
Yes,
Matt,
I can.
No, you can't.
How are you going to argue with
some
me?
of these people
you're going to school for psychology.
Bro, I promise you. Listen,
no, but
this is
really
sociopaths do not feel emotions.
Okay.
They don't kill because of rage or
not
anything.
everybody who
kills. And most
somebody,
of the time, they do kill because they get an adrenaline rush, which is the closest thing they can feel to an emotion.
Well, let's not even do it that far. There are some people out here who don't kill. No, check me out. Because I'm on your side. Check me out.
There are sociopaths that don't kill.
There are people who are out here who are sociopaths that don't commit murder.
Facts.
And here's the thing: they just don't feel anything. They just don't. They just don't do anything. Not every sociopath has to go out here and kill somebody. Some of them are just chasing because they want to feel what other people feel. So they'll sit there and they'll pretend all the time, and they're like whatever.
So, but you don't see how we're moving the goalpost?
No, but you're saying they don't feel them. You're saying that everybody feels emotions.
I didn't. I said they have emotions, whether or not they feel them or they're conscious of them.
They don't have them.
They don't.
You can't say that they don't have emotions.
Yes, you can. They don't have them.
Okay, let me ask you this.
That makes no sense.
Let me ask you.
Emotions.
No, this is.
You can't just say no. Like that's just like
okay.
That's just like saying, bro. That's like saying everybody is. There's people out there that are incapable of thinking. Like
there are.
Like
there are people who are born out here who are retarded and cannot think.
And
there are people who are born out here and cannot move.
Okay, wow.
Like there are people who are born out here and cannot do a lot of things. If that part of your brain doesn't operate, you can't do that. That's what that means. Like if they're part of they'll put them inside a CAT scan. They'll measure how normal people's brain works, like when they see a loved one or anything, and these people's brain will not fire when they're happy, sad. They don't. There are even some of them that are so extreme, they call them extreme sociopaths. They don't feel fucking pain.
Yeah.
And that's fucking, like, you have to watch these people all the time because they will accidentally kill themselves.
Okay, that's a different argument.
But
they actually don't feel emotion.
No, what I'm saying is they don't feel pain and they don't feel emotion.
But I would say that there isn't anyone who doesn't do anything without emotion.
No, there are people out here who are literally living their there are people who are out here living their everyday life and they don't feel anything, Mac. And like that's a terrible existence.
Soulless person.
No, it's not. It's not even a soul. It's not even that they're. I wouldn't even say that they're soulless.
They just don't.
Their
brain
brain
don't feel anything
just doesn't.
It.
It's just one of those things that doesn't get developed. It's part of the reason why they started why they started doing studies on babies and stuff like that because they wanted to see what could cause the misfire and the disconnect in the brain. The baby won't cry when it's like these people are born and babies will cry when they're born, and that's just a natural reaction. So most sociopaths, when they're born, won't cry.
So you tell me when baby's a sociopath? She didn't come out and cry.
She didn't come out, but does she feel other emotions now?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, these kids come out. They don't cry. When you smack them, they don't feel anything.
Hold on. I literally wrote a paper on this when I first got into my psychology degree. It was a research paper on sociopaths and how they are created. And literally,
thank you so much. Wow, this is a podcast. This podcast is fire. Appreciate you, Weekly.
Thank you. But
appreciate you. Drop a follow if you haven't already.
Doing my research, I found out that most people are not born sociopaths. They are created by lack of
empathy.
No, lack of nurture and attention between the ages of 0 and 2. And it's because you don't learn, like you're not born loving people. You're not born like feeling emotions. You're not. You are taught how to.
I don't think that those people are the good example because those people may have been born with it. I'm
exactly.
talking about the rare. I'm telling you,
I'm just saying, like
there
are people who actually don't feel it though.
But there are some kids.
What
you
were just saying, yes.
There are some kids that are born that way.
For you to say that people are born without emotions, no.
No. There are some people. No,
they
are the smallest. They're the smallest majority on the planet. But there are they are the smallest minority on the planet. But they are people who are born into this world who will never feel happy, who will never feel sad, who will never feel. They will literally live out the rest of their life never knowing what a true emotion is. And what they'll do is because they want to fit in so bad. I was listening to her read about this.
I don't think that you have to show me that too, and I don't think you could say sociopaths are those people just because like
no. So they're sociopaths
that these people do not feel emotions, but I guarantee you that
that's because sociopath
to become that way they had a mental break. Flooded by emotions in some regard, some event exposed or happened to them to create that, which by definition would mean that person has emotions.
Okay,
you see what I'm saying?
But what I'm saying is
the original. What we're arguing about.
Okay, so but the original definition of a sociopath wasn't somebody who was like a killer or became emotionless. There were a small minority of people who were born on this planet who just were born not feeling anything.
No,
right?
not yet.
And I'm not saying that that's a good existence, and I'm not saying that they're even somebody that we have to create.
But she said sociopaths specifically.
Well, that's because that was the original definition of a sociopath. Now we encompass it with people who got to where they are now because they were such a small minority and they didn't want to make up another word. Does that make sense?
Well, the thing is, there are different levels of sociopathy. It's the same thing. Like, you know how there are stages of cancer? There are stages of sociopathy. So not everybody is on that same level. There are some that are created, like she said. And then there are some that went through an extreme emotional break in the middle of their lifetime and have been broken since then. Okay. But there are people who are actually born like that. There are different stages of it.
But
well, let's say that then. Very precise speech because you said sociopaths don't have any emotions.
I guess I get not all. So you have to say
they don't. All right.
Okay, but what he was arguing, Mira, is that they were still born with emotion. And then we said that there are people that were not born with emotion. So what you have to say, so what you have to say is, well, even in sociopathy, there is a small minority of people who are born without emotion. There's like, not all sociopaths were born without emotion.
I didn't say that. My original statement was sociopaths in general do not feel emotions.
Anymore. Right. But what he was arguing was that they felt emotions at one point.
All right, but that was not the original argument. All I stated was that there are people who do not feel emotions.
Mira, I'm not saying that was your original argument. You're not listening. What I'm saying is, okay, what I'm saying is there are people who are born without emotions. Like it just that's a blatant thing. But not all sociopaths are born without emotion.
Right.
There we go. Like this is where the common ground is. Like it's a very minute test group. But there are kids that are born that will never feel any type of emotion, dude. And it's fucking sad. I think I watched a documentary on it one night, and like this kid was born, and
I've never seen anything about anyone not.
Bro, you can do like anything.
Not feeling any emotions. Are you talking about people that are?
This kid, I felt so bad for. It was
not alive technically. Like
no. He's alive. He's alive. He walks around. He does everything else. But the kid's never once been happy. And like you could tell,
or mad.
He's never got mad. He's never cried, like never not once. And they like literally
never felt like pain. They remorse.
They put him in situations to try to stimulate those emotions and monitor him, and he's never felt one of them, dude.
Why do you think always in those movies, bro, when the alien or whatever comes and they do some human shit? And then they actually get to feel the emotions of a human being. They always like go crazy and shit or whatever the fucking case might be. Don't you understand that like human? No, I'm just saying like, don't you understand that human beings are the only creatures like that can emit emotions and have different type of emotions?
I think what he's saying
that's not true.
It's dogs. We could use dogs.
Elephants are so they are so connected to their young that they will lay down and die if their young dies.
Okay, this is the thing
that's true.
I want to just get through everybody's head. Everything is connected on this earth. Human beings, animals, plants, the ocean. We're all connected. Like how? Human-wise, like connected. Like not human-wise, but
telepathy.
No, not telepathy. Wow. Almost like in the Avatar aspect of everything. Everything is connected in life, right? In some type of way when it comes to the realization of what.
So you're saying like
this
all the
reality
plants,
and how everything is, bro. Everything's connected. Like
all the creatures are connected by
everything on this earth, right here on this earth, is connected in some type of shape, way, and form by the dimensions and all that shit. Like that's the physical aspect of
how
everything. Just like how emotions are, right? They say that. This is our reality, our reality in hell because we experience all these different type of emotions. In hell, it's one-sided emotion. You're burning into eternity in pain. In heaven, it's one-sided. It's a one-sided emotion. All you're feeling is love, happiness, joy. Prosperity. That's all. Prosperity. That's all you're feeling. It's one-sided. So when you descend down here to this realm, bro, you get the actual chaotic curiosity of it all. You get to feel happiness, depression, all of it. You get to feel. This is why they say this realm, this lower half right here is hell, bro. Because we're experiencing all these different types of emotions instead of it being one-sided or one-sided. See what I'm saying?
I think the one thing that makes me not agree with that is the fact that we have things like love. Like there's love no way in. All right, but I feel love for him. I feel love intensely for other people.
What he's saying is that this is hell because it's so chaotic.
It's chaotic. You're getting all these different type of emotions instead of it just being
but
I feel like that's a beauty of life, though.
I think, honestly, I would have to say that
it's a privilege.
That kid that doesn't feel anything, the kid that was born that doesn't feel anything, Mac, I think his existence is hell. I think his existence is hell. Because you have to go through life never knowing what joy is. Like, he does not know...
Or love.
Yeah, he doesn't know what any of that is. Like, he doesn't feel it. And, like, that's how far they went with it. They were, like, showing him pictures of random people, and they tried to see any reaction from his brain when they showed him, like, his grandma, or his mom, or his dog. And that part of the brain just does not go live at all. And, honestly, the doctors wanted to do a surgery, but his mom said no because it could kill him. Because they think what happened was some of the neurons there got disconnected. And they want to do their best to lay a film over it to try to stimulate it from other parts of the brain that could feed into that part of the brain and reactivate it.
I think that's so dangerous, though, and
But that's why the mom said he may not know what love is for me, but she loves her child,
right.
And she's like, if he dies, I would feel something.
It's not even the death part. The thing is, like he just said,
yeah, absolutely.
It is emotions are very chaotic.
Have you never seen
Imagine going through like the majority of what you call life with no emotions, and then instantly hitting every single emotion that you could have ever felt. Oh my God, I think that would be so much worse.
Do y'all think
that is so scary?
I do like that question though. Do y'all think that y'all can love something without it loving you back? I think women do it all the time.
Oh my God, hell
for sure.
I couldn't do it, bro.
I loved my fish.
No, but do you think people are able to do it? My fish does not love me,
but I loved my fish.
I know to love something that doesn't love them back.
I don't think fish really like.
I mean, I can in a way, I can technically say I did it with my baby mama. No, I'm dead ass serious.
Yeah, but
like,
that's what
I knew this bitch didn't love me, but for somehow and some reason I held on to it. I loved.
I feel women. I feel
she made it very clear to me, like,
are you sure?
I don't love you no more. You feel me? Type shit.
Nah, bro. There's no way he would still be telling.
The fuck, this girl's been through almost everything with me, bro. Like, you ride or die, bro. Like, you're tripping. Like, it's been there, bro. Like, I think I loved her. It was hard for me to get over that love.
I don't think any guy.
I know.
I don't think any man would sit here and I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say any guy. I'm hoping. From what I know of him, I don't think that he would sit here and tell us that he still loves somebody who he was just in lust with. Because you'll realize it quickly.
No.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
There were certain things that made me truly love this girl, but like,
were you
feel me? I was basically forcing myself.
But were you in love with her?
Me? Yes.
Yeah.
I was in love with her. Yes.
I was in love with my ex and he didn't love me back.
Yes, bro.
Right.
It's just called transparent. That's the same shit with transparency. Like, bro, you can't kick the funk with yourself, bro. Like,
you get over
you gotta
it,
be real with yourself, bro, in order to learn how to.
Do you think everybody feels love? Do you think it's capable for everyone to feel love?
No, well, I would say the cases that we were just talking
about. Well, okay. Besides the
based on what we're just saying.
Okay, based off normal. Like let's.
What do you want to say? The average person?
Yeah. Do you think for the average person?
The average person. If you want to jump into female or male?
I want to just go. I just want to go. Let's just go broad.
No.
I don't think that
everyone is capable of feeling love. Or everyone feels love.
I don't think for the average person. I don't think that everyone
understands
now when you say love, what do you mean? Like from another person or like from
just feel love. I think there's certain
loved.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying? Like in general, just feeling
loved
or
just love for someone else.
Really got to break down the definition with
I would say do you think everybody
I don't know.
Do you think the average person
subjective I would
do you think the average person like
is
on average
of loving something or someone?
capable of loving someone else
in today's society?
Yeah.
In America?
Yeah.
Yes. The average person is capable of loving another person. Yes. In America, yeah.
Okay.
Can I just say? I think
in China,
they don't get a choice.
On average,
they don't get a choice. Tell her, Matt. Let her know what you found out. They don't even get a choice, nigga. You're told.
Well, I just just think that
that's bad.
In America, you can see that everyone is capable of it because everyone craves it. Love is sold. You know, like, that's why we have so many dating apps and stuff like that. And their things are, look for a hookup. It's look for your soulmate. Look for the one. You know,
that's
those are the things.
Dream, though,
right. People crave it. They
go
seek
into
for
different places, or not the best
right.
places, searching for
I agree with you. People do crave it and seek it to where they don't even really understand.
The thing
but
is,
that's because
love,
that's why I would argue that
they
because
just
love,
think it's sex.
That's what but that's what I'm saying. Love is subjective because love to one person could mean
is different.
Something else.
I think what's wrong with our society when it comes to love and relationships is the fact that the media and television and books and stuff, they romanticize relationships and they make it seem like, oh, well, your relationship will always be perfect and the only thing that can break it is outside forces. And the reality is, most of the time when relationships break up, it is because you and your significant other aren't communicating, aren't putting in the work. You know, y'all aren't learning each other. You think it's going to be easy, and then you come in and you realize you have to put work into it, and you're like, oh, well, he's obviously not the one. Obviously, she's not the one. We have to work for it.
Well, it depends on what aspect you mean as far as, like, breaking up relationships. I mean, if you're talking about marriage, you know, that's a very specific.
Well, I'm talking about relationships in general. Break up because people don't realize exactly how much work goes into it, especially when you hit those spots that are the hardest in your relationship and you're really struggling. When y'all refuse to communicate and y'all just kind of go your separate ways, y'all are distancing yourself and y'all are breaking that up. Y'all are no longer working through your problems.
Like that. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, but
it's Gatorade. It's really fucking fire. What you want? Raspberry?
One of the largest reasons for people breaking up.
Orange raspberry, strawberry kiwi, or watermelon?
Yeah, or
strawberry kiwi.
Like a definite.
It wasn't in water.
Yeah.
With marriages, the thing that breaks
just take a sip out of the water bottle.
Marriages up the most are financials and the death of the child.
You don't have to drink that shit. That shit's gross.
Those are the two most
you want strawberry kiwi?
the two main reasons why divorce happens.
Yeah.
Damn. I don't think that's that's a good point. I
feel
like
so that was gonna.
But a lot of people rush relationships now.
So that was gonna be. That's
saying.
why I wanted to ask this because we got totally off topic. So I was just like, fuck it, let's burn this bridge while we're here. Do y'all think that the idea of love has been conflated in American society?
I think in all societies almost. But
I would
conflated with what?
I would say that it's been conflated. That they sell like you all were just talking about before I got out here, which is I was kind of sad. I was kind of sad that y'all got all the way to that.
It's like
it's
the media.
The idea that they put out there of what love isn't what love truly is, and what happens is people are so busy trying to chase the ideal that they don't understand what it really is to be in love with somebody.
Can I be honest? I think the scariest part about the idealization of love on the media is like passion is always a huge part of it. You know, they're so passionate they can't keep their hands off of each other.
Hell no.
You know, that's not reality.
That's a
movie.
That's a movie.
Sometimes, bitch, I want you to get away from me.
The thing is, this is what people assume is real life love because that's all they've seen. That's all they've seen. Like
on Instagram, all they do is
understand that it's dope. Like on movies, like a reality TV, like
and on Instagram, it's like bro, it's that fairy tale shit. Like these two are always
fucking every night.
Right.
Niggas ain't fucking every night.
The thing is, like the scariest part about it is when women or men find relationships like this, they almost always turn out to be extremely abusive.
In what relationship?
That are very passionate and extreme in the beginning, and like everyone else will see it, but y'all two will think that it's the hottest thing ever. But it turns that passion turns into abuse very quickly because it starts with the control, and women are like, "Oh my god, I love that he's so possessive." And then later on in the relationship, you realize that possessiveness was not cute anymore.
That's toxicity.
But that's what I'm saying.
But yeah, the media society has breeded toxic relationships.
Yes,
and
they really have.
Toxic relationships, and that's just
the word even toxic.
The music industry, movies, like everything has done that. Like real, what is it? Like reality TV, like that bullshit.
The Real Housewives of Atlanta.
All that toxic relationship back and forth bullshit, bro.
Right. The song "Love the Way You Lie" by Eminem and Rihanna. They're literally having this extreme toxic relationship where they're calling it love, but they're starting to kill each other.
And the music industry is majorly.
Yeah, and these are what people think is like, oh, that's the type of love I want, and that's the type I see in everything else. That must be what it is.
Well, no, it's just like people seeing that over and over again, and it creates the idea in their brain,
that
like
image.
that is what real love is.
They found a way to turn love into, and I was watching somebody, and I can't remember, and I don't want to misquote them, but they said that the entire East for sure, or the West, the entire culture of the West has found a way to turn love into a drug that's equal to that of morphine and heroin. And what it is that you post it every day, and they said the best part about it is it's free to manufacture. You get two people to post on Instagram pictures where they're up each other's ass all day, every day, pretending that they love each other.
Yeah.
And then all these women are just gonna flock to it.
Yeah.
And as they flock to it, they're like, this is what the ideal relationship looks like. Like, you have to have a lot of money. We got to be traveling all over the place. You got to be hugged up on me and love on me and text me every fucking day and do this and then buy me extravagant gifts. And these women will chase it. And men will chase it. Like, it's fucking addicting. And they can't wait to get to their phone to see the next chapter of the fucking episode. And it's fucking free to make. It's fucking free to make. And I think that what happens is, in society, it's not just love that they do that with. They do it with all emotions. Like, there are women out there who really will say, like, I've seen videos of women talking about shit like, if your man doesn't put his hands on you, then he really doesn't love you.
Right. That's actually a thing that
What
has
the
been
fuck
said.
did you just say? Let me see you in public.
Oh, yeah. That's a thing.
Yeah, bro. Like, this is not a joke. Like, women are really out here spouting the nonsense. If he's not willing to beat the fuck out of you and put his own freedom at risk, he doesn't love you.
Does he even really love you?
Do you see that aspect right there? Like,
that's so fucked.
Right.
Fucking crazy.
That's toxic,
bro.
Yeah.
And bro, you would expect it to be ugly girls doing this, but that's how I knew that these are demons being paid, because some of these women are bad.
Right.
I don't
Like,
think,
real
they're
bad.
demons being paid. It's just, bro. It's just
Nah, that's a demon.
senselessness.
Bro, you can't tell me that's not a demon. That's a demon in disguise. You're telling young women.
You're saying you're saying a real astral realm demon.
I'm saying that in order for you to sit there and tell a bunch of women that they need to antagonize men to the point that they put their hands on them, you are fucking evil. And if they do that and the man doesn't put his hands on them, then that man doesn't love them and they need to find somebody who does. You're gonna get people killed. You're fucking evil. That's almost as evil as telling young men that they're not real men if they don't kill each other. For different colors or different zip codes.
Then, so how do you take it with the aspect of women just love be like? I've been in so many like relationships where a woman preferred to get her ass whooped than a nigga treating her like with respect and shit. Like,
Right.
I don't know what the fuck it is.
That's demon,
like
bro. Put it to you like this.
Like, that's weird.
You want to know why they like that?
Why?
Because you have women who are beautiful and who seem to be living this lifestyle that are telling them that that's what they should be seeking.
Yeah.
And these women are gonna seek
getting beat.
Yeah.
If you have a woman who's with a man,
They probably came up seeing that, and that clicked in their mind that that's acceptable.
But
that's
they don't
the
even
lifestyle that
But that's not.
living like.
But like you said earlier, it's not even something that they have to come up seeing anymore. If you have women
on
social,
I can say a lot of women in our generation, me right here, 27, 28, like 20, higher 27,
I'm 28.
30,
are prone
a
to
lot of
abuse.
women in our generation like being beat.
No.
But the thing is, like I said,
I'll put it to you like this: my cousin.
The passion that I was just talking about that's sold to
My
all
cousin
these
really
young
likes fighting
women
niggas.
and young kids
Like,
and stuff like that.
if you're her
that's
nigga and you don't
love.
put your hands
That
on her,
passion,
she don't like
extreme
that shit.
passion that you feel, that's love. But that passion almost always turns out to be very abusive later on. But people don't leave, and they crave that because that passion in the beginning is so addictive.
Bro,
that amount of, you feel so loved in the
After you
beginning
left
of it, you can't let go of it.
After you left, I said
I couldn't let go of that
Yeah.
shit. And I knew
It was so extreme in the beginning, and you're like, I've never felt this kind of passion and love for from somebody, and then you realize, like, later on, that's extremely toxic the way that they really treat you.
Bro,
but by that point, it's too late. It's literally
one
a drug.
of those things.
That's because you don't know how to value.
Right, exactly.
But that's it. And so when you don't know what you're doing, and like I said, social media has done it the best. Like it's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Watching social media work to turn toxic relationships into what people put it to you like this: every single high school had girls that would talk about Jersey Shore,
Right.
and that was fucking toxic as you could be.
Degrassi as well.
But Degrassi as well.
That wasn't that bad though. Degrassi
Nigga, these girls is fucking everybody. Some of these niggas was beating these bitches' asses. Some of these
Degrassi really had that type of shit, man?
yeah, bro. Fucking
Especially
Drake
the
got
original
shot on
Degrassi,
Degrassi.
yeah.
What you mean? And then they took Drake and turned him into a sex symbol. And he was toxic as fuck on that show. He used to bully this kid every day to the kid.
That's what Degrassi is about?
Yeah.
I don't think I'd be understood.
Bro, Degrassi was a little kid.
I did, but I didn't understand.
I didn't watch it. I didn't watch it. My sister watched it. But I'll never forget the episode where Drake got shot. He was bullying this little white kid to the point of tears. This kid was going home crying every night. They wrote fag on his ass and super glue. Like, nigga, they was fucking.
So that's why he was paralyzed.
He got shot, yeah.
That Jin showed up at the school and went to drop his shit. Jin said he had it, bro. He went home that first. I remember that nigga went home, cut all his hair. That nigga started to cut off your dreadlocks when you about to catch a body shit. Cause that nigga went home with them curls. That nigga went home with them curls.
Yeah, I can honestly say, you see somebody cut their hair off like that,
They down the cat, bro. That boy went home with like this, with that buzz, and you were like, damn, he about to go to school and fight tomorrow.
Well,
that nigga showed up with that bitch in that backpack. Drake went to try to go down the hallway. He said, bah, 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 and walked over his ass and was about to finish his ass off, but a cop shot him.
There was also the little white girl in Degrassi who was in love with this boy, and they were dating and everything, and he started beating her, and then he raped her, and she was still like, oh, but I love him so much, like, I don't want to tell anybody I love him, and bro, like, that's literally what we grew up watching. I grew up watching that shit.
That new shit now, that new shit that
it's the door on the left.
Yeah.
Or right.
First door on the
that new show that came out with Zendaya, that new show.
Yeah, the black and white one almost.
The show. No, the show.
No,
what the fuck
I
is
know
it
what
called?
you're talking about. The one where they all do a bunch of drugs. And
She
shit.
always overdosing on that bitch.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta watch that. That show.
Dude
is
won a
fucking
Grammy or something, and they didn't shout her out.
That toxic relationship that like young kids like they're eating that shit up, bro. Like, and it's like it's fucking crazy.
Drama, bro. Drama sells. Like, everybody says sex sells, drama sells.
Which is, I
You
actually
wanna know how
think,
they found out? Because all of our moms would watch fucking soap operas. Whether your mom was black, white, or indifferent, everybody's mom was watching stories, nigga. Everybody had their stories. Whether it's the, what was it called? The Tyler Perry joints? The Tyler Perry soap operas? Or the fucking soap operas that come on, The Young and the Reckless, All My Children. Nigga, you better not interrupt my mom when Young and the Reckless was on, bro. It was over.
Shit is crazy.
She don't even really fuck with white people like that, but she was watching them white people get into it every weekend.
You know who I think,
Vampire Diaries.
Bro.
My girl watches that shit.
Bro.
I'm just like, that shit is
lame.
Vampire Diaries, fucking True Blood, all of them are just...
And all of them have toxic ass
fuck.
relationships in it.
Shit, bro.
And all these women eat that.
bro.
Teen Wolf, they'll eat that shit.
Twilight in general, Twilight, if you
Bro, look at her, she's so
that
excited.
shit is so toxic. Bro, her relationship with Edward and Jacob are both toxic as fuck.
Yeah.
Bro,
that's crazy.
That show, bro.
That's crazy.
Bro, toxic. Bro.
Shorty nigga had a gun to her head and was pulling the fucking pulling the. He didn't have bullets in there, but he was like fucking with her, and then he was like, "I'm gonna kill myself." Like right there in front of her, like they were in the bed. He's like, "I'm gonna fucking kill myself." He like pulls the trigger and it clicks, and then he's like, they're like making out and shit, and I'm like, what the fuck is this, bro? Like,
bro, but see,
that's an adrenaline.
No, bro, niggas is wild, and
that's what they sell. That's what they sell to young, and that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not even just the women who are seeing this shit when they're growing up anymore. It's these women that are growing up, and like bro, I feel. It's before my heart goes out to you, bro, because you had to fight against all this as a dad to young women. Because if they ever catch this show, in this show, what they see love is they gotta be on some dangerous other type shit. Like when we were kids.
Clip that you did where this woman's like, I love putting myself in
Bro,
dangerous
I did a clip.
situations.
I did a short about it, and they blocked the short because I was talking.
Perfect example of women not taking accountability. You know what I'm saying? Look, like perfect example, women, OnlyFans. You know what I'm saying?
But
all these women jumping on OnlyFans, not knowing that there's going to come a time when their kids are. All that, everybody, that whole respect that they want, that whole paradigm that they want, that ideal future that they envision, that shit is a delusion. Bro. You're not just gonna have kids. You're not just gonna have the man that wants to marry you at the end of the road, and life is gonna be all goody when you sat here in the best of your 20s and got ran and dug out. You know what I'm saying? On the internet by all these dudes, you sitting there with all these toys, running all this. You know what I'm saying? And then you wanna have that Prince Charming at the end of the road with the family and this, bro y'all niggas are nuts.
Bro, you wanna know what the sad part is though? I've been doing a lot of research into it, bro, and I don't think
a lot of research. So you think niggas is gonna eventually be like, okay,
check me out. You trying to jump to conclusion? I think what they did, bro, is they moved the goalpost. Now check me out, because they're not selling women Prince Charming anymore. Because Prince Charming is boring, and Prince Charming is somebody whose standards you have to meet up to.
Bro, listen.
Wait, no, check me out. These women aren't going for a Prince Charming. These women are going for these niggas, like he said, that, like you just said, it's that show Euphoria. She's not gonna be looking for a Prince Charming. She's looking for somebody who's gonna put her life in danger.
Yeah.
They're not looking for Prince Charming anymore. I think the media has done this perfect. Because these women are getting dug out in their 20s on OnlyFans and anything. These aren't gonna be the women that are looking for niggas to marry them. Yeah, they gonna look for niggas that ain't shit. Because if they were looking for a nigga to really marry them, they wouldn't be on that shit in the first place.
But a lot of these women are coming out just like with the idea, like, yes, they're gonna be able to work, get their money, and then change that and develop that into their own business and eventually move out of that field without the repercussions that come along with that. Nigga, that is a failure to. That is a lack of accountability, bro.
I'm not saying, but
in
I'm
the grievous way.
But I'm not arguing that. What I'm saying is, they don't have. You're giving their end goal to them, and their end goal isn't a nigga that looks like Prince Charming. Yes, their end goal is a nigga.
It's always gonna be that. No, a nigga who's gonna at the end of the day take care of them. And be there and have a family with them. What nigga is gonna go out there and impregnate a female that has this past, marry them?
Most of these women, most of these women, their ideal Prince Charming is gonna be a nigga like Adam 22.
No.
Yes, and then Adam 22 will.
That is a very rare man specifically. So just think about that.
Okay,
like,
but
and then you're talking about the men nowadays also trying to raise the standard and become better. Like niggas are not going for that. Like
for the guys who are raising the standard, yes, but a lot of guys aren't raising the standard. There are just as many niggas doing OnlyFans with they girls as girls that are doing OnlyFans.
No, there's not, bro.
Shit.
No, there's not. That is also a very small percentage of people doing OnlyFans that are actually guys that are actually doing it with their women. But also, if you want to,
there are guys that
if you want to go that route, what is the projected longevity of that? You know what I'm saying? How is that gonna last? That's not something we should be promoting.
I'm not saying, but you're conflating arguments. I'm not saying that we should be promoting it. I'm not saying it's a good thing. What I'm saying is these women probably don't have it in their mind that they're going for the same guy that you think they're going for. These women are all mud buckets and they know it. Mud buckets have been getting married for years. They're gonna marry mud bucket men, and the reason why it's more.
But they're not though. That's the thing. That's what I'm telling you. Like,
they are.
No, they're finding out that niggas don't want them.
They're finding out that niggas
don't want to settle down with them. Niggas want to fuck them. Yes.
They're gonna find niggas.
Niggas want to fuck them all day and every night.
Niggas.
Yes.
That's not.
But they're not settling down, having families.
Is Adam 22's wife married? And they do OnlyFans.
That is a very
using
Adam 22.
Okay.
That is not the average person.
How many porn stars have been married before?
Not to say that it doesn't happen, but the average female porn star after she's been ran through, after she's and if you want to go with a famous,
they're not gonna get high valued men, but they're not
gonna get niggas at period.
They're gonna get trash.
There's gonna be some simp nigga that may be like, oh, want to fuck with them.
Okay, but that's all they fuck on them.
But you talking about a man to settle down. That is not an ideal.
They're not looking for an ideal relationship because they're not ideal people.
Yes, they are. That's what I'm saying. This is
you're thinking that women that are doing OnlyFans.
This is what the argument is, though, that these women are not taking accountability, and they're sitting here thinking that these type of men are sitting there at the end of the road for them, that are going to marry them, that are going to give them a family and take care of them. That's not the case, bro.
From the research that I've done on all these women. Okay, put it to you like this. Most of these porn stars, like Riley Reid.
Go look them up. How many of them are married?
What are we talking about right now?
Huh?
Like, where?
What?
We went to the bathroom, and I just want to catch up. I don't know what's happening.
1 second.
I was basically saying that the whole one of the biggest examples of women like failing accountability is like the OnlyFans industry. Majority of it being women who want to do what they want to do now, and then make plans, have a business, and then in the end get married and have a family without acknowledging the repercussions that are going to come along with that, and not taking accountability of their actions, and expecting the Prince Charming ideal fantasy family and everything that's going to make a woman happy at the end of the road be there for them, when no, that road is closing. You're doing OnlyFans.
A lot of these, but in my entire point is a lot of these women. Yeah. A lot of these women aren't going for a Prince Charming type nigga. I'm not saying they're taking accountability for their actions, but what I'm saying is a lot of them will just say, okay, so I can't have Prince Charming. That's fine. Like they're fine with that. They're
not. Well, that's what I'm telling you.
They're fine. They're going to be fine.
Prince Charming aren't like Disney versions anymore.
Mac's arguing that they're not going to get high value men, and they're not.
You guys are focusing on the Prince Charming thing. I said like that ideal nucleus family that women chase, that family, that man that's there to take care of them. That idea, they're
yeah, but that's a high value man.
They're assuming that high value man, we'll say high value man specifically, is gonna be there at the end of the road for them after they've gone and ran through, been on OnlyFans.
But even if the high value man's not there, like my entire,
it's not going to be.
I just said that.
But that's what my argument is.
Okay, I'm not arguing. So you're arguing something that nobody's arguing against. I'm not saying that he's gonna be there. That's what I'm trying to get through to you.
That's what I initially stated, and you argued against
it. I said
I'm
somebody.
not arguing anything. I'm just saying that.
I said somebody is going to be there to marry them. It's not going to be the ideal.
No,
marriage.
but that's the thing. Niggas aren't there to marry them. Like niggas are there to fuck them and simp over them.
Riley Reid just got married. Lana Rhodes got married.
Okay.
All these bitches are getting married.
Actually, no, because they both just did get married and they both got broken up with, and now they both have babies and a baby daddy, and they don't have anybody. That, so now, like I'm saying, a nigga's gonna come.
But they're not chasing. But what I'm saying is, so they don't get what part of the nucleus family? They don't get a dad. They don't get a dad in the house.
What do you mean? What part? They don't get that ideal nucleus family. They don't have.
But that's not their stand.
That man there providing for them. That woman there fitting her role with children. Like you see what I'm saying?
But they're getting everything they aimed for. They didn't want.
They're not. They're realizing that they're not. They're realizing that whole fantasy that they had is that's what I'm telling you, Marcus.
But you're interpreting their goals. They didn't want that, and they obviously didn't want that.
That's what they're talking about on these interviews that they want. And that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm relaying to you right now. That they're not getting. They're realizing that, Marcus. That idea they thought was gonna be there is not.
They're realizing. So a lot of them are saying
they're fucked.
A lot of them are saying. I mean, yeah, but they also have a family because they got to have a kid with a sucker nigga.
They have a kid.
Okay, so they have a family.
They're not happy. They're not happy. That's it.
None of them are gonna be happy. But
that's my whole fucking point, Marcus.
But I never argued that they were.
That's what you're arguing against, though. That's
what I'm saying. That's not what I was arguing. You didn't let me get my fucking statement out there. I said they're gonna end up with one of these niggas, and they're not gonna be happy. But as soon as I said they're gonna end up with a nigga, you literally jumped down my throat, Mac. Like you didn't let me finish the statement.
You're saying that a nigga is going to marry them and they're going to be happy. That's what you said.
No, I never said they were going to be happy. I said you said there's not going to be a dude that's going to marry them. I said, yes, there is. And you said, nigga, nobody's lining up to marry
I said there's not going to be a nigga there to take her seriously. There's going to be niggas there to fuck her and simp over her, yes. But there's not going to be a nigga to take her.
But these niggas took her serious.
Take her serious. But a nigga married her. Where's he now? He's not there.
I never said that they were going to stay together forever. You'd never let me finish. That's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that these niggas is going to marry them, but they're not going to be happy. That's all I was saying. I said they're going to find somebody to marry them because there's sucking niggas out there that will marry them because these bitches have money. Lana Rhodes, but put it to you like this.
But they're not going to marry down. You think about it, bro. They're not going to marry no
Riley Reid and Lana Rhodes both married niggas that were under them. Both of them.
No, they didn't. They married niggas that had money. They were just prevalent in any industry. They were like nobody niggas. They had money. They're not marrying just any bum ass nigga.
But
you see what I'm saying?
Okay, but there are half ass celebrities all over the world. The nigga that married Riley Reid was from fucking Sweden, and he's not even that popular.
Nigga had bread.
He does not have
Nigga had bread. Look it up. Nigga had bread. Yes.
He does not have that.
Nigga has hella bread. Nigga, you talking about the dude who doing the music?
No.
First dude she married?
No, I'm talking about the nigga who she had a baby with. The nigga that she had a baby with was some nigga that does parkour videos and has
that nigga right there. That's that other nigga. If you want to use him, that nigga's famous as fuck. He's signed by Red Bull, nigga. What do you mean?
He does not have that much.
That nigga has endorsements. Go look it up, bro. Either way, they're not gonna be happy at the end of the day.
I'm not saying that.
My whole argument is that there's not gonna be that guy. Females sitting here thinking that they can do OnlyFans and have Prince Charming or so and so waiting at the end of the line for them, bro.
Yeah,
the harsh reality is that it's not gonna be that. And the second you decide to do OnlyFans and all that other shit, bro, just know that happiness that you want, bro, it's not gonna be there for real. That's all I gotta say.
I mean, I don't think anybody here is gonna argue with that point.
I come to the conclusion that all women are adrenaline junkies. I feel like they love that.
That's where I was getting.
That's where adrenaline kick. That you feel me?
What
society but that's what society. I don't even think it's adrenaline. I just don't even think it's adrenaline. I think that they realize that with social media, that women will flock to whatever they think is popular.
Yeah.
I mean, anybody will flock to what's popular. Most people, that's how popularity works.
Women have a stronger propensity to go for what's popular versus what's beneficial. Men have a stronger propensity to go for what's beneficial versus what's popular. Like, that's just natural psychology. You don't sell, like we said before, you don't sell to the man of the house. You're going to sell to the woman of the house because she thinks everybody in the neighborhood has bought
what you're selling.
No. If you convince a woman that, even if you're selling something for a man, if you convince the wife that her husband needs it because all the other husbands have it, the household's going to have it. Because the wife wants her husband to have it. And then by the time the husband realizes it, he's going to be like, well, I didn't fucking need this. But the wife's going to buy it because she thinks she doesn't want her husband to be seen as less of a man. You're always selling to a woman. Selling to a woman is easier than selling to anybody else because they have the most buying power in the household.
Very true. Happy wife, happy life.
Nah, fuck that. I don't live by that standard. That's dead as fuck as far as I'm concerned. But that's how most people think. A lot of guys will say that. They'll be like, as long as my wife's happy, I don't care.
I mean, I do landscaping,
I find that such a terrible argument.
Yeah, bro.
Like, dude, I hate that saying, happy wife, happy life. I absolutely hate
it's
that.
It's happy both parties, happy life.
Right.
No, it's not.
The thing is, like, when you're unhappy, I'm unhappy. Just because I love you and I don't want you to be upset. You know, like, I want you to be happy and be relaxed and get to live without being upset. And I feel like that's just how relationships should be. You shouldn't go into the house and be like, oh, well, he should be happy just because I'm happy today. That's such a fucking selfish, fucked up way of thinking.
I would say that happiness is subjective in that regard. If you want to put it as far as like labels of gender, like as long as if you want to say a man is happy when his wife is happy, that's like the whole gist of the saying. You know, if that guy is happy, or if that guy's wife is mad, he's dealing with it. So he's obviously not happy.
Well, that's because he's the target of her anger.
But she can be happy and he can be upset just, you know, because he dealt with some bullshit. Because men face adversity day to day more than women do. So he's dealing with bullshit. But as long as she's happy, he's happy. You see what I'm saying?
Because she's not adding on to it with her fucking anger and rudeness and disrespectfulness and wanting to scream at him because she didn't get the sale at fucking wherever the fuck she went. Like, it's a toxic way of living your life.
I think,
to be like, oh, as long as I can make sure my wife doesn't yell at me today, it's a good day.
I think,
like, it's a fucked up way of thinking.
Well, maybe that perspective, but like if you think of it,
but that's really what people take it as.
But you got to think, like, if most guys are going along the fact like, okay, if my wife is happy today, then I'm doing good. You know what I'm saying? So I'm happy.
The term happy wife, happy life is what Mira's referring to.
So when there's the running thing
but
on
it's specifically that term.
When your wife is upset, what is it that they like say that you miss out on? You're in the doghouse. She won't cook your food, or she'll cook you very little and make sure that you know that she's upset, right? She's going to be very petty, which is why you are no longer happy. Is because now instead of just being like, look, you really upset me, or I'm really upset by this situation, now she's just going to be petty and take it out on you in petty ass ways. You know, like, it's very disrespectful, and it teaches. We were just talking about accountability. It makes a woman not be able to take accountability for her own actions because the man's gonna deal with it, and it's the man's problem regardless. Women have to take accountability of their part in the household. Whether you're mad at your man or not, did he go to work?
That sounds like gender.
Did he come home and bring your freaking make sure the bills are paid? All right, so then why the fuck are you being disrespectful? Why are you not making sure he's eating?
That's a good question, but. I mean,
like, but that's really what it is. Like, you, by sitting here putting in the, saying, oh, well, happy wife, happy life, it negates the man from being able to come home and have a house where he can relax in and be happy, and regardless of what his woman's emotions are. Why is her emotions your problem? You are not her therapist.
But it's his woman, though.
All right. But at the same time, I'm a grown-ass woman. When I'm upset, even if I take it out on Marcus, I will go back and be like, you know what? I really shouldn't have said that, and I'm really sorry that I had that attitude. And I always, like, even when I'm upset at him, I cook him food.
Oh no!
Even when I'm
upset
at him,
have a little attitude.
Right, but I mean, you know, you can say.
But like, I still take care of him, whether I'm upset or not. And especially now, like before, I was really bad. But especially now that I'm learning to love myself and learn how to control my emotions and deal with myself and be very. I'm able to look at myself and be like, look, Mira, that was really unnecessary, and you really need to apologize for it. It was not his fault. And so, right, so I've started looking at myself and being like, you know what, Marcus, you really didn't deserve that attitude just now. I'm very sorry.
Not every woman's capable of that.
They're capable. They just refuse to do it because they don't have accountability for it.
Right, but not every woman. That's what I'm saying. Not every woman is just capable of understanding. You know what I'm saying? And
I think everybody's capable. I think that what happened is just like with most things in society, what happens is people stop enforcing what the standard was and just let the standard drop. There's a standard for a reason. There's always a standard for a reason.
Standards can always change, though.
Yeah, but standards can change, but they shouldn't go down. Your standard should never go down. Whatever the standard is should be considered the minimum. Now, if we rise, it's like standard humanity. Like it should be standard for you to treat people. It should be standard for you to treat people the way you want to be treated. Should be. But what happened in society is people stopped caring. They were like, well, if you could cheat somebody, cheat somebody.
Well, that's like I said, the overall moral and
but that's what I'm saying. I'm agreeing with you. Yeah, I'm saying our moral standard used to be up here, and what happened is it's declined, based on anything.
Used to be when?
Used to be, let's just say, early 70s and 80s. Like
before doing drugs.
Even when you're focusing on.
That's not even because they was doing drugs.
What?
That's all CIA.
It's on Twitch, YouTube.
Niggas was doing hella drugs in the 70s.
Oh yeah, but even when they were doing drugs,
so how are we gonna say
even when they were doing drugs, corporations still had a minimum standard of operation where they would take care of people. If you got hurt on no, there are some people who will try to cheat you. Okay, so put it to you like this: the business practice came into practice. This business practice came into practice within the last 2 decades, and it's you can guarantee, like if you're a roofing company. You can guarantee somebody a 10-year roof. But if you go through and you change your LLC name to something else, all those warranties that were under the old LLC name are now null and void.
Right.
Before, roofing companies didn't used to do that. You used to just take it off faith. Like, people got their business spread by word of mouth. If you took care of people, people took care of people. Like, even even our grandparents and stuff like that, like, they had friends who they could be like, you know, I'm going to do this for them because I know they're going to come through for me. It's because you took it off faith that somebody was gonna do good for you. Nowadays, bro, like he just said in his own mom, and like not to bring your personal stuff out here, but like you couldn't even trust people who you like, nigga. We're blood. What are you doing? Why are you crabbing me?
What does that have to do with the
standing
of overall
because
back then versus
everybody,
now, how it's declined?
Everybody, I would say probably majority of the country for sure had a more religious background. Like, more people were attending churches, more people were attending studies and stuff like that. And
in the 70s and 80s?
Oh, absolutely.
Then so now?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. I'm just trying to make sure.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is because the moral decline, and when you think that you're going to be punished for what you do that's wrong, you're going to hold yourself to a higher standard to try to do what's right. And what's happened now is people are like, I don't give a fuck who I do wrong. If they got done wrong, they're fuck them. Like, it just is what it is. It's like, nigga, if you got played, you got played. Nigga, you just got played. Fuck you. I don't give a fuck. Dude, how bad you want it? Come get it.
That's right.
Anyway, back to what I was saying. Like, we were just talking about how women have it a lot easier. They're no longer held to like women are held to less of. They're not held accountable as much as men are, and I think that's an extreme inside relationships. Like, especially in this day and age when people are trying to have very traditional relationships, where the man does go to work and the woman stays home. In this day and age, women are not held accountable for their actions. Like, they want that man to take care of them, but then they don't really care enough to take care of the man back because look at the world we live in. Where women are now told, oh, well, you should have a man who's going to do everything for you and more, and you shouldn't have to do anything. There was literally, there are women on TikTok who are talking about, they're telling young girls that when they're looking for a man, he should cook for you, clean for you, do your laundry, make sure that he goes to work and pays all the bills. He should take out the trash. You should never have to open your door when you walk out to the car. Like, they're telling these girls this. And then saying
telling them that?
Multiple women on TikTok is what I'm saying. It's on the platform.
Social media, like, just social media.
They're teaching young women that men should do everything while women should sit on their ass and do nothing and be treated.
Let them teach them that.
But
enough to listen to that will where those people are.
But that's what I'm saying. This is the brainwashing of.
That's how brainwashing works.
No longer being held accountable.
If you see a bunch of people, if you see 200 million, let's not say 200 million. If you see this post of, so the one I watched recently had over 253,000 likes, and it's a woman and her kid in the back of her car, going like this, and it says, when your husband calls and says that he's tired from working 80 plus hours a week to support you and your daughter's lifestyle. And she's in the back of the car going like this. Violin. Yeah, it's the world's smallest violin, and her and her daughter are back there laughing their ass off. I'm like, nigga, like, he's really busting his ass 80 hours a week at work, so that you don't have to work, you can take care of your daughter, and you're on. This is what you do. Like, this is your moral standing. Like, you're sitting here on social media clowning this man because he called you and he just said he was tired. Yeah. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, in any other, I would say, and most, I would say probably before the 70s and 80s, women were looking at their husbands if they were getting broke down like that and being like, I can go get a job at a diner. Like if we're struggling, let me know.
So would you say that because that nigga's complaining about it, he's a weak ass nigga?
No. I would say if you're working over 80 hours a week and you're really doing, I don't have anything bad to say about him because he's complaining to somebody who he's supposed to be able to trust with that. She violated her household trust by going to somebody outside. Like, because this is what women say they want. And I don't even think he was really bitching and complaining. He probably just said, look, I'm really getting... He's probably like, dude, I fucking hate working these 80-hour weeks right now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just in a fit of, like, walking out the door, hear this other... You feel me?
Well, I mean, yeah, but society has, like, bred that, you know? She's got a kid with him, so, like, what's gonna happen? She's gonna divorce him and take half his shit.
But what I'm saying is... She's got
that comfortability to make that stupid ass post and say some stupid shit like that. She's got that comfortability.
But that's what I'm saying. But what I was saying is, like, even like to add on to her point, like back when our moral standing as a country was higher, women weren't going to do that. Even if they had the capability to do that, they wouldn't have done that. Because most women didn't want to handle shit that was inside their house outside their home in the first place.
But I would argue that most women back then were, you know, doing what they had to do.
Right.
They were
held accountable.
They were, you know, in charge of the house. They were cleaning the house. You know what I'm saying? Watching the kids.
Which cleaning the house is the easiest job in the world, and being a parent was the hardest job in the world at one point, but it ain't today. I'm just letting y'all know right now. Being a stay-at-home parent, taking care of kids is not the worst job in the world today because you can do it easy as fuck.
Most people are.
I thought you were gonna say that's hard.
No. I would say it's probably the easiest job to do in today's day and age. You drop me at the crib.
I could do some dishes.
Bro, I could fold some fucking
laundry.
Nigga, get your ass out there on that boat and
sweep them up.
Most children are screen
babies. I can
babies.
teach these kids school.
Nowadays, that's what they're called. They're called screen babies or tech babies, where people will just put their babies in front of a television or an iPad.
iPads aren't killing enough kids.
Let them do whatever while the woman just sits there on her phone. Right. And she doesn't clean the house. She doesn't cook dinner. She has all the time.
It's easier now to clean the house than I would say ever before.
We have fucking
dishwashers.
Please. We have washing machines.
Dishwashers,
Swifters. Being a stay-at-home parent.
Fucking all that.
Yeah.
Would you say it's the easiest job in the world?
Bitch, I can clean my whole house in 2 hours. Yeah. That's why I be looking at my girl when I come home. Like
if you knew all your other bills were going to be taken care of. Because, like, you're a parent, so I would really like your option on this. Like, if you knew the rest of your bills were going to be taken care of, you didn't have to worry about bills, and y'all had a little extra left over, do you think being a stay-at-home parent would be the hardest job in the world? Like, because that's what some women will claim.
No, that's not the hardest job in the world.
Yeah, some women will claim, like, that's the hardest job. Like, it's the hardest job in the world.
You got, like, 4 or 5 kids.
That's not even that hard, nigga.
No, I'm saying, like,
kids are not hard. They're enjoyable. These are your seeds. These are your seedlings, bro. Make it enjoyable. These are your fucking kids.
You ever watch kids all day, bro?
Yeah, but if they're
my kid.
Right.
Sometimes I get aggravated with my kid, and I have to check myself, and I'm like, bro, this is your child, bro. Why are you getting aggravated with
Yeah, bro, just make them act the way you want them to. Like, if they're acting the way that you don't want them to, you gotta correct them. You can't just expect your kids to know how to act.
Kids, though, in general, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, you got 4 or 5 of them bitches, that's gonna be, you know.
But if you got 4,
has 5 kids.
That's not light.
And
I'm not saying it's light, but I'm not saying it's hard either. Because if you're parenting your kids the right way, and maybe he can interject and tell me if I'm wrong. If you're parenting your kids the right way, your kids are gonna act in a way in which it's gonna be enjoyable for you to watch over them. Like, yeah, they're gonna fuck up every now and then, and that's gonna be frustrating. But if you go to your job, there's gonna be a nigga that fuck up every now and then. He gonna piss you off just as much. And this is a nigga you don't even fucking like half the time.
This is a grown-ass man. This is not a child.
Yeah, this is not somebody who's, hey, daddy, I broke this shit. I'm sorry. Like, you feel me?
But to answer your question, sure. Being a stay-at-home parent is not the hardest job in the world.
Good shit.
Because one, I'm gonna tell you right now, waking up every fucking day, working somewhere where you know you don't want to be working, bro, is fucking highly miserable.
That's soul sucking. That's soul sucking work, bro. I'm gonna keep it a band with y'all.
Damn.
What?
Y'all hate what y'all do.
I don't hate what I do. I get to get up in the morning.
I hate what I do, my nigga.
It sounds like it.
I hate the whole working aspect of this corporation, bro. Like they said, bro, the whole job word and the whole job image came from the industrial age in America, where Americans had to go to work to build an infrastructure for our country. That's what the fuck the job came from. Like, we're not really designed to.
And it's not even.
We're not supposed to be working right now. This is only meant for that industrial age that we were going through.
Why?
Bro, we're not supposed to be. Bro, we're supposed to have businesses. We're supposed to be.
How you feel me?
Flourish, bro. Like, we're not supposed to be. Like, the whole aspect of us working for someone else. It's not supposed. That's not what America was.
You're not supposed to be. You're not supposed to be. You're not supposed to be. So the entire thing, the entire infrastructure around having jobs and stuff like that. Originally, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm almost like. I know for a fact that this country standard has dropped way lower than it's ever been in the history of this country.
What do you mean what standard?
The standard of what people will accept. Like, because before nobody would shop. Put it to you like this: when corporations used to team up against the little guy, which people are little guys, and I'm working for a company right now that actually takes care of us, and I appreciate that. Because I've seen what it's like to work for a corporation that does not give a fuck. And that's the problem. The corporations that did not give a fuck didn't get the fight back that they got from previous generations. Yeah, it was AJ. Did not get the fight back that they got from previous generations. To the point that let's use an extreme example, and then I'll give you an extreme example now. Mm-hmm. During the Depression, when people were losing their farms, what would happen is if the bank foreclosed on your farm, the entire town around you would show up at the buyback of your farm, and they would sit there and basically guard your farm until it got down to a price that you could pay the bank in order to get your farmland back. And if anybody bid over you, like major banking industry stopped going over there, guys who were buying up farmland stopped showing up, because what would happen is if they started bidding, they would just get the shit beat out of them. Yeah. And like the whole town's gonna beat the shit out of you, so you're not arresting all of us. Like, because we know the Richardson family, and we know they just got on hard times because they didn't have enough water to get their crops, and now the bank's gonna try to take what they've worked their ass off for, and they've been there for 6 generations. Yeah. Nowadays, bro, niggas ain't got communities like that. They put everybody in competition to each other, and even back when you used to work for major car manufacturers and shit like that, they gave you a retirement plan that you could live off of. Even our government military isn't giving you the same retirement benefits, because they seen they didn't have to. Nobody fought back for it when they proposed this new retirement plan and all these benefits, bro. The TRICARE, I read the TRICARE document. The new one, ass. You're telling me, so if I served the country for 20 years, I damn near kill myself. I can get benefits for the rest of my life depending on my disability, but my kids are just gonna be on their own after 5 years out. So if I decided to wait till my last 20 years to have my first couple kids, they only got TRICARE for 5 years? Nah, bro, you got me fucked up. What should have happened is the moment they put that forward is every enlisted nigga in the military should have been like, nah, riot. Bro, you got us fucked up. They couldn't have done that to the niggas that went over to World War II. They couldn't have done that to the niggas that went to Vietnam. Them niggas would have been like, the fuck did you just say to us? But y'all are increasing Congress paycheck. Congress get their paycheck. But you gonna take away our benefits. Niggas that serve in the Senate get Secret Service protection for life. How much money does that cost? They get vacation homes that they get to go to as benefits for being in the Senate. But I get my health care taken away, and the health care for my babies taken away, and I went to war for something I may not have even believed in. Yes. I went to war for your profit, and now I gotta suffer. What was the company that just did it? There was another company that just did massive layoffs just because of inflation. What would have happened back in the day when they did that? Some of these major manufacturing companies, Ford had the biggest one. Ford went to laying off people.
Everybody quit.
Everybody said, "Bitch, we're not coming in." Yeah. That's when they started having niggas that were called scabs. They would go through the picket lines and start working for more money. But those niggas, there wasn't enough of them niggas to do anything. Right. Nigga, we're not being able to put out cars. So what the company got to come do? I got to come sit down and talk to y'all, and we're going to have to negotiate this out. Okay, we're not going to be able to match y'all's retirement plan in this way, but we can give y'all medical benefits because we're going to get a deal on this side. What happened was everybody stopped caring about the person next to him. As long as I got my job, fuck what you got going on.
Right.
And that's what I'm saying. Standard across the board just went downhill, nigga. And that's what has caused, I would say, a majority of the problems that we're facing in this country now. Because me, as your brother, I see you getting done wrong. I'm so worried about keeping my fucking job that I can see you working right next to me and you're pulling your weight. And I'm like, fuck, they cut him. But as long as I keep doing his job plus my job and working myself to death,
right,
I'm going to keep my job.
Well, I think
it fucking sucks.
A lot of the reason
and barely make anything.
I think a lot of the reason why, like, jobs nowadays really suck is because we are literally trained from the moment we start freaking kindergarten to the time we get out of high school. Is like that entire time we're taught to be complacent and to follow instructions. We're literally brainwashed to be complacent and just be drones of workers. You know, they're not encouraging us to have unique minds, which is why they say, oh, well, you can't solve the problem your way, it has to be my way.
Show your work, because I need to make sure you're doing this math problem the way I told you to do this math problem, motherfucker.
You're literally told, all right, well, from the moment you hit school, that you have to follow the line. You have to be in line. You have to listen. You have to follow directions. And if you don't, there are severe consequences. God forbid you speak out about it. Now you're double punished. Mm-hmm. You know, and then so you get into this job, and you're used to being fucked your entire life, and you're like, it's just another fucking. I guess I'm going to take it quietly because this is the only way that I was taught to live.
Hell, even kindergartners compete for line leader.
Right.
You just want to be the first drone in the line, nigga?
Right.
What?
They brainwash you to think that
nigga, I'm gonna be the first drone in the line. Ain't that about a bitch?
Is the best way to be.
Right. That's
crazy.
It's just one of those things where I think a majority of our problems can be solved if people stop thinking about solely just themselves. Like people are like, oh well, everybody has to work. That's not fucking true. Not everybody has to work.
That and so people have to stop being one-minded off of what the fuck they've been taught all their life, like how she just said, in this fucked up ass schooling system.
What do you think, young one, before you leave?
Well, what?
This.
I mean, I know, but like, give me like
okay,
a set question.
So do you agree? Would you agree that like from the work experience that you do have, do you think that most people are just out for themselves and could care less what happens to the person next to them? Like you work for a corporation basically right now because you work at the hospital.
No, I work in a medical building. But
okay, you work for a doctor, whatever.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, bro, like, if somebody got fired and you knew that she did her job pretty fucking well, are you gonna go to bat for her? Or are you gonna be like, damn, she got fired, and then just continue on with your job?
I'd probably just be like, damn, she got fired,
and move on. But that's
how we are.
You're told if it's not your business, it's not your business. But
I'm not gonna go quit and lose my job that I need the money from just because my coworker who did her job very well got fired.
Yeah, but what if she got fired for something that you know wasn't her fault?
Oh, I mean, then I'd probably bring it up to management.
No, but what if you know for a fact that if you do, you're gonna lose your job right with her?
Oh, then no.
Right, but that's how it is, right? But that's how we're.
But that's what we're told.
Like you can't say anything, or you'll be right there.
Back in the 60s, 70s, and shit like that, bro. People's was not on that, and I had to do research to verify what I was saying, bro. Fucking factories were reported to the government like like they were having to send National Guard in to work at certain factories because niggas that was trying to cross that picket line was getting their ass whooped for $25 an hour. Like, yeah, you going in there to make that $25 an hour. Before this shift and after this shift, you catching straight hands.
Yeah. Are we concluding the pod?
I'll be right back.
I think we're good. We're down to 6 people.
Oh,
Y'all want to tell everybody goodbye?
It's 8 o'clock. Yeah.